up on a mountain where the cold wind blows. We can talk about your drink and what you think.
I can hear.
Welcome to the Appalachian Podcast. This is the 1 year anniversary show. I can't promise you what's going to go on, what's going to happen, how things are going to turn out, but we're going to have a little fun tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We got a ton of cool people up here. I'm going to start off real quick by just introducing everybody that's here in the room tonight. Before we get going, there will probably be a couple other people that come and go, you know, as the show goes on. We're not going to drag it out super long, but other folks are on their way. But who we have in the room right now, to my left, and I'm going to go clockwise here, we've got my co-host,
Jethro Bodine.
Jeff Taylor Bodine, once again, damn it, Bodine.
I ain't got much of a voice. I'm still getting over the bronchitis, but
let me tell y'all about
see
this.
how long it'll get.
This is our 1 year anniversary. Our first show released one year ago on the 29th of April, 3 days ago or so. Wanted to do a one big year special show, and I had really no idea how I wanted to do it or what I was going to do. But I hit Bodine up, and he said he was sick and ill, so I tried to drag it out till Sunday. I'm like, all right, cool, Sunday, he should be good. Everybody should be good. We start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then he said, well, I don't know if I can make it Sunday. What are you talking about? I drug it out to Sunday anyway.
We'll be all right.
So, yeah, to hell with all your nonsense. Next, we've got the Crumb Snatcher, who was on a hot streak there right after the New Year and Christmas, and then we kind of slowed it down.
Left town for a business trip?
Slowed it down for big news, babies, and doctor visits and things, but it's good to see you here again.
Yeah, back one more time. We starting to ramp it back up. So
you got some coals in the fire.
Yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 just this week, so we'll see how things turn out.
We'll talk about that today. I mean, it's been one hell of a year. Dean's been a huge part of that. I'm glad he could be up here tonight. Next, we have our host, the person who makes these WoodShop episodes so epic. He's been on a few shows here. One of the shows he's been on hasn't been released yet. I've had to edit it quite a bit. When it comes out, probably next week, it's gonna be good. But
week's worth of editing.
Weeks my ass. We did that show a month and a half ago. But with all the things that's been going on, anyway, we got Amos Denton. Appreciate you once again allowing us to come up here and record a WoodShop Chronicles episode.
My pleasure.
And beside him, we have one of his cohorts. We'll kind of introduce y'all to their connection here a little bit later.
But keep it PG, Billy.
I know y'all got family lessons.
We don't want to have to go to sensitivity lessons.
I'm sure y'all two both grow.
Oh, he don't have to go to sensitivity lessons. I mean, I dated his sister when we were both 16.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
still a little sensitive.
So we actually, that's why we got them both on that end together. Both, if you've listened to some of other episodes, and if you haven't, and that's one thing we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about some of the cool shows we've had that you might have not listened to. Go back and listen to them. They're fantastic. We've had some really good ones. And with Amos, you'll know from him that he grew up in a German Baptist church around here. And in Franklin County, that's kind of a, it's a unique lifestyle that has intermingled with the rest of the population forever. Joel here, I guess, grew up in the church as well.
Yep.
So welcome on behalf of Amos and being our second.
Thank you.
Sherman Baptist.
Well, I mean, it's.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
don't say Dunkard. We already been through this on here.
Yeah. And if he said that, then he'd have to go to See, if he'd have said the D word, he would have had to go to sensitivity training.
I missed out on the difference between Dunkards and German Baptists.
Well, so my buddy John that was up here, like Billy said Dunkard one night, and John let him know that saying Dunkard to a German Baptist was sort of like calling him the N-word when he's black.
Is it true?
Who's that?
Dwayne.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true.
We're to our family, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not terribly concerned about Dad, for instance, listening to the podcast, but
that's the thing. Nobody in your family really falls in our target audience.
Confess to that. And by the way, I was listening to the.
You might be surprised. I told you, Billy. I had one of them say, "Hey, man, how do I listen to this podcast without being on the internet?"
I will say, down at the lake house, I would show up some nights, and there'll be about half Amos's family sitting in there. I'm not going to mention names, but Not like anybody found out. They're just watching TV, watching a movie here and there, you know.
Oh, it's the best babysitting there is for a German Baptist kid. You don't see one of them, man. You go somewhere, they turn the TV on, you can go for 6 hours minimum.
Communion service is more for the adults.
We're going to have to get Denny Hamlin's therapist number here for training, sensitivity training for much longer.
We give them on Monday, like Monday evenings usually.
The therapist?
The sensitivity training up here.
Oh, okay.
So
Billy violates community guidelines.
Every time.
So, you know, Joe, we'll get to him here in a little bit as well. You know, he's a trucker kind of like me, so we kind of got that vibe. And they're around Dean. Dean comes from a trucking bloodline as well. And the last person we have here sitting with us,
he's got a freshly fucked look on his face.
Yeah.
He as well.
With
no lube.
He's still dry. He's still hanging out with that debris on the backstretch.
He as well is a returning member of this podcast. He has been part of one of our most popular shows where we put him out there in the middle of public with everybody. Fresh off of his race last night at Bowman Gray Stadium in 179 Hillbilly Racing Modified. Paul Hall, welcome back. This time not in front of a crowd. You're not nearly as red as you were last time.
Yeah, no crap. Yeah, thank y'all for having me, and I enjoy being here.
Paul came up and helped me clean up the wood shop, unlike anybody else sitting here. After running a race last night and getting screwed.
I have a 14-day-old child at the house. Every minute counts back.
You're the one that named one of his names Amos.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Yeah. So Paul right here, and I guess, we got a lot to talk about on the show because it's been one hell of a year, and there's some stuff we want to look back and talk about, and some funny stories and some good times, and we kind of got the crew together again. But we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't start off this show tonight talking about Paul Hall last night at Bowman Gray Stadium. This is a good way to start it off. So
I want you to give a shout out to your sponsors real quick because you wouldn't have got
go ahead
there.
for everybody's
Go and
making it
plug
possible for you. That's making it possible for you.
Go and give your sponsors a plug.
I have several good spots. I mean, everybody's great to me. El Rio, Caesar at Rocky Mountain Mexican Restaurant. They've been good to me. Scott Heath at Moneta Tractor Supply, tractor and trailers. Lyle's Crematation, Lisa and Gordon Lyle.
Did you say crematation?
Yeah. Yeah. They burn animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
And Rocky Mountain Burger Company, they helped me out a whole lot. Dylan Clemens, Kevin Clemens, Maggie Creek Farms, Jay Foley Engines, and just some people here and there, just family. And some guys give me.
Well, actually, it looks like Blackwater
Building,
and
I think.
Custom
Builders
Woodwork
donated a little bit.
just became a sponsor.
They just bought a spark plug.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
So the reason I asked Paul for a sponsorship plug, he was royally screwed last night, and he should have had the opportunity to get up there and thank his sponsors for being able to perform it, to be up there last night, but he didn't get that because of some. We'll discuss that further. Whatever it was that happened, and so I wanted to make sure he got the opportunity right off to thank those guys that, helped pay for him to get there.
I'm chasing around my 3-year-old and a 14-day-old child and a wife who has me by the
Go dance.
midsection. Yes, by the.
You still have them?
Yeah, well, they're hanging on by a thread.
His undercarriage.
They're hanging on by a thread.
In the interest of keeping it PG, maybe
So
we'll just
I'm
take your
chasing all
word
them
for it.
around, and so I'm on my phone upstairs, and I open up the Flow app. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and catch some of the race, and they're replaying what seemed to be the end of last week's show.
Yeah.
I think. So I turned it back. I'm chasing them around, and I get a message from Blake Holcomb. He said, "You see the end of that race?" And I said, "No." I said, I didn't even know where it was going. I thought maybe rain delay had happened. And he said, "Man, Paul had it." So I went back and watched the replay, and immediately when I got done with the replay, texted our one group. I said, "Man, Paul got, pardon me, Mom, fucked last night."
And not in a good way.
No, so describe it from, we're talking about Bowman Gray Stadium in front of 15,000 fans. We've had Paul on here before. We love the modified racing side of it. We try and get him to tracks. We try and spread the word as much as we can because he's our hometown guy. He gives us a reason to cheer. And last night on a big audience, on a big stage, he gave us a lot of reason to cheer. So you were An eighth of a mile away, Paul.
From Glory.
Yeah, I mean, we first race we wasn't very good. Finished 14th, and they had a redraw, so we drew 14th. So they put me on the pole. So I'm like, I asked David. I said, you want me to do it? Because I had to pay for stuff if I tired up.
Yeah.
David's like, you go get it. I'm turning you loose. So I started on the pole, and we led 24 and 3/4 lap. Well, got the white flag, and with the turn 3, got a caution. And I'm like, what the world is that? Everybody spun out, nothing on the racetrack. So then we had a restart, and
Yeah, I mean, is it safe to say on here who we're going to be pissed off, Bodine?
I think everybody is equally
there's
pissed
a
off.
controversy going on here.
I think there's quite a bit of controversy.
This is huge.
Down there. It's not, and it was not only that particular race. I've heard that it was more cautions last night than just that. And it seems like they're blaming that damn sod for most of it. They're like, they want to go out there with the damn blowers and blow that sod more than they want to do anything
I
else.
run through it 2 laps before they threw the
Yeah,
car.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Paul
It's
come up
helping
on
it
a lap
turn.
car. Paul come up on a lap car. He Dale Earnhardted it right in the grass, right around that dang guy.
Crab running through the infield, and
Look, I've already decided I'm gonna do like a Governor DeSantis, and Callaway's already called him as like the real winner of the race. We're gonna just go ahead and
No, he was. Paul won a damn race.
Yeah, we're just gonna
As far as
declare him
I'm
in our eyes
concerned.
he's a winner. So.
And the thing of hell, you was using that grass. Hell, I was making that thing turn.
because it was a little bit snug in the middle. You run through the apron. Free it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell, you got to do something. And
Hell, it was strode all the way up to the fence, and they was like, caution with a quarter of a lap to go.
that's what you got a steering wheel and gas pedal for, to drive through the shit. That's what you get through. That's just.
I ain't never in my life.
It was great. So if you're listening right now and you want to kind of figure out what we're talking about, go get the Flow Racing app.
Actually,
right?
it's on their Facebook. This particular spot's on their
you can
Facebook.
go-
But either way,
Yeah.
if you want to watch this stuff every single
Yeah.
week,
Flow Racing.
get the Flow Sports app and go to the racing section. Great coverage. You can watch Paul from the comfort of your home, race every weekend. He's down at Bowman Gray, and every Smart Modified Tour race he ends up jumping in. If you're from Franklin County and can't make it out.
And Flow has been doing one hell of a job. With their coverage at Bowman Gray this year. I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah.
And Billy's right, man. You're getting a lot out of that.
Yeah, once again, we have to mention Dillner. He's doing a hell of a job, doing the commentary and the play-by-play. It can't be easy down here at the Madhouse, and for him to be able to go in there. He makes it a lot of fun to watch.
Well, even him.
He makes a lot of fun
It
to
was
watch.
3/4 of a lap, and he said, and Paul Hall comes around the corner and caution.
And he said caution, and he was like, and they, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think he said Paul Hall, a super talented race car driver, comes around the corner and a caution.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So,
That's pretty damn close right there.
all right. You have, raced a handful of modified races. Last weekend was your first ever
Full
trip,
race at Bowman Gray.
2 race last week, and you went in there and you said you start and parked. Okay,
yeah.
so this weekend though, you go out there and you actually get the money up to race.
Yes.
And so, as somebody who hasn't raced quite a bit, not a lot. There's guys out there. You're racing against legends down there, guys.
I talked to Chris Fleming last night, and he's been racing for 41 years, and he's only won 12 times there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he told me last night. And to have a chance to win my first race there in my first start, it's been great. But
Yeah. And you got guys, but you got guys, Tim Brown, Burt Myers, Jason. Legends.
I thought Jason and his mama, and Jason's mama was like, I thought she won the race. It's just, I walked away from the fence, and I'm like, Ma, I didn't. She's like, I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah. So
They know.
Yeah.
So what's going through your mind? Seriously, what's going through your mind out there the entire time when you're leading lap after lap after lap? Are you worried about that guy? Can you see him in your mirror? He's on your ass the whole
You
time.
don't ever look in your mirror.
You don't?
You have a spotter. And pretty much you just ride the bottom and run your race. And they got to knock you out of the way to pass you. They beat my back bumper off for 24 laps.
Yeah, and you did a good job keeping them in check because you would take away their ability to move you off the corner.
If you slow them up, they can't
Yeah,
catch
that's
back up
right.
with you. That's just point of it, and that's what I was told to do. And I think
About 3/4 points of the turn, you was really right before you hit the gas. You brake check them and then zoom. To some extent.
my car wasn't great by no means, and I ain't the best there ever because I ain't had 100 laps there.
Hey, but you ain't got to be great. You did what you needed to do do what you needed to do to win.
And you did, as far as I'm concerned.
I done what to win the race with, but
So what happened on the restart? Did you spin the tires coming out of 2 or whatever for him to drive to the inside?
Well, I probably got a little excited and
You were pissed.
spun the tires and drove a little bit deeper than what I should have, and it eased up in the middle, and then the 5 car got in the left rear of it and pinned my left rear down and made me push off a 2, so he got up under me. And, I could have cut left and run to the infield, but I didn't want to do that. So
That's probably what Gray wanted you to do.
yeah, I sent them tickets, but they ain't gonna fix my race car.
No, I'm just saying that's probably what he wanted you to do. So he could throw another caution and wad up 6 more.
Yeah. I mean,
Dean, you watch the race. What'd you think?
I told Jeff earlier we were talking about it. I said the best comment that I seen last night out of anybody was they didn't want no Virginia boy to come to Carolina and win.
Yeah, especially one out of nowhere.
That was the best comment I seen it last night.
And I'd say so, but considering what we've heard about the Satch Worley controversy coming down there and how much trouble they gave Satch coming down there.
Don't say controversy like this is 2020 boating. I mean, it's just it's crazy racing fans. I mean, but not really a controversy though.
I mean, it was controversial when you would the out of towner would come down there and win.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, out of towners win there quite often. But a controversy.
You reckon Matt Hirschman goes down there and gets the same treatment?
I don't know.
Seriously, I mean,
yeah, he should. I mean, but I mean,
he should, but I don't think he would.
But the good thing about it is, and the way I look at it is, Paul, if he would have won, then you should have won. Like in my book, you did win the daggone race. I mean, etched in history. But the fact you didn't, everybody else more so is talking about that. And everybody in Bowman Gray World is talking about Paul Hall right now, dude, come out of. So, I mean, it's going to give you more opportunities to get out there and do it on a bigger level, a bigger scale. Take every opportunity that you're given, and, I mean, hey.
People noticed who I was. And
absolutely.
And having said that, let's say that the caution hadn't come out and the guy would have moved you out of the way.
I was 3 cars ahead of him, so he wouldn't.
Well, no, I meant let's if he were to have got to you, moved you out of the way, and you'd have finished second.
Hypotheticals that would never happen. Here you go, Bodine.
No, you would have got moved out of the way and finished second. Then you'd be forgot about in that situation. They're like, oh man, he almost won.
Yeah.
But then, now that what happened, now everybody's still talking about it. And it's good for you.
I've got messages from people I don't even know telling me that I got screwed last night. And, I mean, I know everybody knows. 20,000 people there knows I got screwed last night.
You got a screwed by Burt caution. That's what they call them, Burt caution.
Right.
So for us, huge deal. The Smart Modified Tours, Modifieds in general, all these guys, Paul Hill, been a big part of our show here the first year we've done it. So it's nice to come in here and talk about something fresh, fresh off the press like last night. As controversial as it was, it's kind of cool to have them here. And for anybody listening, there's a lot of people looking, ain't it, Dean, on them and on the Flow app. Not to mention the 15 or 20,000 people in the stadium each and every week. So reach out to Paul. You're gonna get some advertisement there, right?
I think so.
I had 2 people last night message me, talk to me, want to sponsor me for the next time. I'm like, so if they give me some dollars, I can show up next week.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, if you'd have just got shoved out of the way, it would have just went on. And
or just here and there, hit him up and throw him $100 here or there, $50 here or there, or every little bit helps at the end of the day. If we all come together once a week and we have somebody to watch, go down there and ruffle the feathers of all them Carolina boys, I'm down for it. Throw a little money here and there, hook your hometown boy up.
The front bumper's on $180 every week. $180 for a front bumper. I use it up every week. So.
Oh yeah. Which in hindsight, it may be a good thing how it went down. There's actually could be a silver lining to it, as I said.
Well, like John Wood messaged me this morning, first thing. I was awake at 6 o'clock. He messaged about 6:30 probably. He said, Paul, you got screwed last night. I know, John. He said, I watched the race. He's like, what in the world was they doing? I'm like, that's just what they do. They want to put a show on. That's what they do. So,
because next Saturday night, what's 100 laps?
Yeah,
it's 100 lap mod race.
Next Saturday night.
Are you making it? Trying to make it? What are you trying to do?
I don't know if I can. I'll do it, but I ain't going to, I think it's cool. Edinburgh got to qualify or something if they do. I don't know.
I haven't seen the post up what they're going to do.
Friday.
Well, this show is going to be released either tomorrow morning or tomorrow at some point in time on Monday, May 2nd, 3rd, whatever tomorrow is. As soon as I can edit it or add in the music. So for anybody out there that's listening to it right away, hey, hit up Paul, hit any of us up, and put you in touch, get your name on the side of the car for that 100 lapper. A lot of people are going to be watching. A lot of people are going to be paying attention. A lot of people are going to be there in person.
Depends on Friday night. We might be there Saturday.
And they're going to be talking about Paul Hall a lot, too. If you make the race, if you get down there on Saturday, a lot of people in the pre-race are going to be talking about you. They're going to be talking about how you got gypped last week. They're going to probably come up to you and do an interview. You're going to get a bunch of more looks on the car.
You are.
So get your sponsor on the side of that car next Friday or Saturday, whatever it is. Saturday? Yeah, get it on there. Have them look at it.
Saturday night special.
And if you just want to throw a couple dollars here and there, throw it our way, and we'll get a big old Appalachian podcast on the side of the car if we can.
We put that on there too.
Yeah.
It needs to be back on there anyway.
I want to. I want to do it for a race I can make, and with a 14-day-old kid, it's difficult to talk the wife into going.
I'll put a picture of the baby on the side of the car if you want to.
You know what? Actually, that is a genius idea. I will bet you, I could reach out to all my family and this is a good segue into another conversation here because I told my wife last week. I said I'm going to post pictures of the little one on the podcast page because without doing anything to it, you'll get a shit ton of responses. For some reason, every time you mention babies or weddings or things like that, the algorithm pushes them up. So a ton of people, you get a ton of traffic. So I bet if I did just like a GoFundMe, I won't use that service, but something to that degree and said, hey, everybody chip in and put my beautiful baby on the side of the car. You probably get $30,000 just because people like to give to babies.
I put on every quarter pound.
You would know what to do with
top,
it.
Everything. I put on the bottom because I turn over. So.
Well, it works.
That's planning ahead right there.
Yeah. Did you watch your mini stock race after y'all did, or you still?
I don't watch no races but what I run. I don't have time to, because we run the third race and the fifth race, so I don't have time.
I didn't know if you did or not. It's kind of tough down there, as I'm saying, because the mini stock race, one car brought at 6 cautions. He hit everything.
Who was it, Jesse Yup?
It was a green.
I heard his name last night, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, all right.
It was a
I'm
green 25 with like yellow letters or something on it.
No, he's number 12. I'm just picking with me.
I'm colorblind, so it could have been 17 different colors. Hell, I don't know. He hit everything. Hit my buddy Blaine, took him out.
Hit the flag stand? The pace
No.
car?
Yeah, that's the only thing he didn't hit was the flag, man. He almost got the pace car on the backstretch. Old Jimmy. But anyways.
Well, yeah, so for this weekend, big 100 lapper coming up, hit up Paul Hall. And I'm trying to thank Bodine. You know, we had the gingerbread man, John Clements, walked in here, and he's been an integral part of this whole.
Where the hell he went?
And then him and Amos ran right back outside to Jaw and Jabber. I'm not exactly sure what they're up to.
Might be out there buying that camper.
Buying the footage.
They're out there dealing. There he is. Come, John. Come on.
What you got?
Sit down, everybody. The gingerbread man.
Oh, we're getting dollars in here.
The gingerbread man.
I got enough for one tire.
What's up?
We was trying to give you a
That's all
proper
you need
intro.
one, make it baby turn.
What happened?
We kind of need you and Amos in here,
Break it down
for
to
the
one
show,
good
and you're
waistline,
out there
little-
Famous
probably
Amos.
willing and dealing about an RV.
Well, you want 3 German Baptist songs at the same time?
Yes,
We're taking German.
that's fine. You can jump in. I mean, Amos can jump in there between y'all's mics because that's kind of how he does his voice carries very, very well.
He don't even need a mic.
Amos, hell no, he don't.
No, he just got that deep
No.
voice. He don't.
Like you and Joe need to be up on the mic. John is up on the mic. He sounds like a jazz musician. Dean and Buddy and everybody else is okay, but Amos, he could be next door in Dwayne's apartment, and you could hear him all day long. John, good to see you, by the way.
What's up? Yep. Good
When's
to
the
be
last
back.
time we had you on here?
I want to say it was here.
Yeah, it was up here.
Yeah, it was here.
for
It was the last time I was on.
The first WoodShop.
Or was it the lake house issue?
No. That's the most recent episode that came out, but
Okay.
we recorded that one back in December. It took me that long to bring
get
up
it out.
to have the gall to actually release that one. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's a funny one. Thomas Meeks has been featured in 2 episodes, and it has taken him a grand total of probably 52 seconds on average to derail both shows he's been on. Speaking of Thomas, we wanted him up
Like
here
we
tonight.
derail his mom.
We wanted him up here tonight, but he couldn't make it. I see Pam is in the corner.
Get to the bottom of this.
Good luck.
He's not here to defend himself.
Today's his birthday, by the way.
Yep.
It is.
Makes us.
April. Yep. No, it's
I
May
woke his
1st.
ass up this
Yeah.
morning.
Last time I seen him, he puked in the back of my dually.
Yeah. Come up here and tell that story real quick, Amos. This is a good one to tell. Just get up on one of their.
wedding.
Come on up to the mic. We want to hear about this.
Yeah, I mean, because
I guess seeing
Thomas,
Thomas puke ain't nothing new to me, so I've seen him puke.
my wedding weekend.
Yeah,
Or is my wedding night?
That really your wedding weekend got stretched out a few days.
Yeah, the Thursday night, 2 days before my wedding.
Well,
I
I was chasing leaves up Bethlehem with my truck.
don't know if we're not ready to talk about that
But
night.
here's what I want to say, Thomas. Happy birthday. Billy's wedding. We're trying to go to Hammer and Forge to have a beer afterwards because Billy didn't buy enough beer at the wedding. I paid for enough for everybody else. I finally said, I'm just going to go.
That is a cardinal sin, running out of alcohol at a wedding.
At a riddle wedding of all places.
Yeah. Well,
Hold on.
All places.
Not only did we buy a massive amount of beer to the point to where my wife looked at me and she's like, "Are you really serious? You're buying this much?" Not only did we go through everything that she kind of questioned me about getting, we had to send Scott Minix to the store
Scott
to
went
get
back that night and got
to get
more.
like 15
You
more
always
cases.
have a just in case case.
Yes.
So when you think you got enough, you buy one more.
It was a fight that night. Like there was like the pay-per-view fight. I don't even know who was fighting. Monachek
Probably,
wanted to watch it.
I know Notre Dame and Virginia Tech were playing football, and probably
Yes, because John was up there Ubering that night. Now that I remember that.
That's why he wouldn't
No,
come
John was
to
at
the
my
wedding.
wedding, weren't you?
Yeah. No,
you
he
weren't.
wasn't.
Damn, you Ubered over my
That
wedding.
was the night we was tipping over Porter
Damn, I
John.
did,
When you
didn't
remember John
Damn,
being
you
around.
missed a hell of a time.
I tell you, that's low down right there. That's
No,
low
the
down
night-
that's low down dirty.
Look,
I didn't
the
even
night
think
that
about
we-
it.
You made bank. You made
No.
like $800 that
Yeah, I
night.
did, but still though.
The night that a few nights before Billy's wedding, you made up for it by riding us around that night.
I remember
That was the night
Yep,
before.
in the excursion.
No,
Yeah.
was it?
Yes.
So
Night before,
no,
2 nights
No,
before.
look, I got married on Saturday night.
So
Thursday
we
night.
did have an extended
better get
weekend.
that.
Thursday
Right.
night, you, me,
Doc-
Caleb Flora, and Brian Jones all we
Did something that we
We-
can't talk about
we-
on this microphone. I got a feeling.
made our way to an establishment
And back home. And made our ways a good way
and
of putting it.
back up here to the WoodShop afterwards, and then my way back home. And then the next night on Friday,
We went to
John
John's.
drove us around.
We went to
And
John's.
I attempted to
Yep.
temp over my first
We-
Porta John,
and it was
in
bolted
20
to the
years.
freaking ground.
Y'all was like, "Oh, get out there and get that one, get that one," and I'm like,
It was bolted to the ground.
These motherfuckers tied them
Yeah, I
up.
got
And I'm in
They got 'em
the
tied
penalty
up.
box.
They got
I'm all
smart.
the way in the back with I'm 6'4" in the penalty box
Yep.
with Monachek while this is going on. But I had full faith in John driving because he had the "Do you want fries with that mic on?" So I figured, look, we're good.
I remember Amos saying, "Too bad I don't have my damn wallet. We'd have us a hell of a bachelor party." That's all I remember Amos saying. He's like, "Just keep going, John."
Well, Thursday night we'll wait for another episode for.
Then we get to Billy's wedding. After Billy's wedding, we're going to go. Me and Monachek's going to go watch this fight. Meeks, I want to go. I want to go. Well, you'd already wrapped at the wedding, Meeks. You was provoked. Yes, I'm sorry. So we're headed towards the bar, the brewery, Hammer and Forge. And all of a sudden, I hear puking from the back seat. I mean, there's a lot of real estate to clean a dually first. It ain't like a 30-minute wash job to clean one of them. You wouldn't know, Billy. You're driving your Prius. Clemens and Joel, they know. I'm like, Monchuk,
Wash and
is
dry.
that happening? He said, yeah. So we go to, and he stays in the truck the whole time.
Thomas.
And then we have to drive him back to his house with puke hanging all down a brain
Back up
clean
the Rake's
dually
Road.
out the door. And I was like, Mitch, the last time I seen it this bad, you was beating paddles off the ceiling fan in Radford with a baseball bat while the cops were at the door.
Those were the days.
So did he puke in it, or did it just outside mostly?
Both, but I mean,
both, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was, well, you know how it is when you're doing figure eights.
My wedding was, and this, before, shout out to my wife right now. She is at home.
I love her.
My 14, 15-day-old son, and
Your 14-day-old husband is up here on the mic.
so I'm yeah. So God bless her. She has been to hell and back over the past couple of weeks, and for her to let me come up here tonight and do this show, she knows how much it means to me, how much to come up here, be able to have this conversation, hang out with my buddies, and do this the way I wanted to do it. And I wanted to get it out tomorrow and ready to go. So she's the strongest woman I know. The things she's put up with, me, the birth a couple weeks ago.
Me?
Yeah, Amos.
You'll get home tonight and your shit'll be sitting on the porch.
It very well could be. She is in.
There ain't no gates up, so she can't kick it down the steps.
Billy's gonna have one little duffel bag out on the
But
front
all
porch.
right, so tonight is your 1-year anniversary of doing this.
Well, this
Podcast.
week is we released our first episode April 29th of last year.
Was this
It
the episode
me,
I was
John
on?
and Jeff.
Okay, all right.
And that episode is still one of the top 5 most downloaded, because typically every time somebody goes to listen, they always want to jump back to the very first one. So John has stayed, relevant. He's everybody. So it was a year ago. We probably had 58, 57 releases because we did a couple different things here and there, but
So, I mean, here's what I want to know. So apparently, like, Bodine and Dean got like a 4-year vacation from this. Because like 5 years ago, we're sitting up here, and you're like, Amos, I really want to do this podcast. And I'm like, Billy, this is the dumbest thing you've ever said. I mean, that's really saying something, Billy. And then 2 weekends later, Amos, I really want to do this podcast. Billy, that's stupid. So
Yeah, the
they
idea-
got 4 years that they didn't have to hear that kind of stuff.
No. For 4 years, I sat up in here every time I come to the WoodShop and said, man, we got to find a way to market ourselves. We are awesome people. Everybody we hang out with are awesome people. They got great stories. And I said, I'm tired of the negative shit out there. Every time you turn around and look, everybody's talking about what's wrong with the world.
Yep.
And only really 10% is really wrong with the world. No, 90% is beautiful. Let's start highlighting that beautiful.
Looking for that 10%.
So a year ago,
And look
what,
for that
what
10%.
drove this as being the time?
During all the COVID nonsense, for one, I was like, you start seeing more and more. And for me, I've done it for a long time. And Amos will tell you, I've been up here calling their bullshit out for the past 10 years. But now, in the last
keep
couple
you
years,
busy.
everybody else starts noticing it more and more. They're like, yeah, I mean, and look at how negative they are. Look at every time you look at the news, it's just negative this, everything's wrong. They'll never give somebody credit when it's due. They'll always, be down on them, no matter who you are, what you do. If you don't believe on it, I said, fuck it. We're going to get out here and we're going to tell good stories about Franklin County, because you're coming in here, the Washington Post or New York Times are coming into Rocky Mount claiming we're these bunch of hillbilly, slack-jawed, redneck racists. Hell no, we're a great place. Appalachia's a beautiful place. It's a fantastic place. So we're going to get on here, and every week we're going to somehow find a way to talk about how awesome Appalachia is. And next thing you know, and especially Rocky Mount, next thing you know, here we are.
So you got me thinking, though, because you said great stories and stuff, and me and Dean heard a great story today. We had to go to a funeral today. Not to make things sad, Butch Moran passed away, tour bus driver.
A lot of people should know who Butch Moran
I said,
is.
who's the funeral y'all went to? I didn't
Yeah.
know.
He's a good
Okay.
dude.
Oh,
Butch
wow.
was always, yes.
Butch Moran passed away.
Well, hey.
He drove us on. Used to drive us on the band trips all the time.
Yep, Butch
he was the lead
did.
bus driver. Mm-hmm.
And so H.L. Nolan told a story today. And it was a hell of a story. And we kind of heard a little tidbits of it before. Because Butch was always crazy. He was always into, some crazy would happen to him. But, Butch did sports trips with H.L. And they went up to Baltimore 20 years ago. 25 years ago, wasn't it, Dean? Something like that. And H.L. organized a trip. Butch drove. And they went up in the middle of the summer, and they said it was one of the hottest weekends on record. It was over 100 degrees both nights for the games. And before they go on the trips, HL and Butch tell them, like, listen, there's a bathroom back there. But don't use that bathroom unless you absolutely have to. If we're coming close to a stop, you need to just, hold off. Well, they had been up there for 2 days on that bus, and that holding tank, had done started getting pretty full.
Yeah, I know about that.
And they were on their, so they left the ballpark there, and Butch said, HL said that Butch was coming down the road, and it come the biggest possible monsoon rainstorm up there off the Bay Area that you could possibly imagine. Raining cats and dogs, and he said Butch actually slowed down to 30 mile an hour. Butch Moran has never run 30 mile an hour in his life. If he'd have said he slowed down to 50, I would have been like, dang. So anyways, Butch is headed down the road, and they're running 30 mile an hour, and that holding tank starting to smell. Through the whole bus, that 100-degree weather, sitting up there all weekend, and that thing has started stinking pretty bad. Everybody in the bus could smell it. And Butch is, still pouring rain, and Butch calls HL up there, and he says, listen, he said, I would not normally do this, but he said, it ain't nobody on the road behind us. He said, there's a lever you can let go back there and dispose of things. And and he said, you got the perfect opportunity. It's raining. He said, it's going to wash everything off the road. You ain't got to worry about it. Just go back there, hit the button, because we cannot keep driving with this smell. So HL, he eases his way back there, goes to the toilet, flips the lever. Kind of anticlimactic moment at that particular point in time. It just releases and does its thing. And HL eases his way on back up to the front of the bus and sits down. Well, about the time he comes back up, a motorcycle comes around him. There was a damn motorcycle that had been following right behind the tour bus. He said that because it was raining so hard, the motorcycle stepped in behind the tour bus and was just kind of drafting him.
Wait a minute, this story was told at a funeral today.
Yes.
Good.
He was
track. Yep.
And he was staying in the track of that tour bus, and Butch couldn't see him back there, and he released the holding tank, and it went all over this guy on the motorcycle. And HL said when that man come up by them, literally had toilet paper on his helmet. He said it was toilet paper hanging off the mirrors of the motorcycle. He said the guy was flipping him off and just giving him all kinds of hand signals. So I when he started talking about the stories, I was like, man, that one's fresh on my mind. I gotta tell it.
That might be one of the greatest stories.
That's probably a damn good one right there.
It was a good story.
Come on,
He said
That sounds like a party right there.
he said Butch was up there just dying laughing when the guy was up beside him, and the guy's got toilet paper all over his helmet, and the mirrors hanging on, and other obstacles. Hood ornaments.
Well, at least it didn't spin out.
That's what I say. You know what I asked HL after the funeral? I said, so how'd the bus smell afterwards? I want to make sure it at least got the smell out of the bus. And he said, actually, it did pretty good. It aired on out.
Oh, my.
So to answer your question, Joel, stories like that right there, we wanted to preserve things like that. We wanted to just talk about what's great about where we come from, the people where we come from, and celebrate them, and hope that, if you're turning away from all this traditional media, if you are listening to media, come to the local people, come to local spots, find out what's going on here locally, start supporting these people. If everybody around here kind of notches in together, we all benefit in the long run. A rising tide raises all ships, and we got something good going on here. We got great stories, good people. We can bring on, and once again, this is our year anniversary show, so we're going to do some bragging and some name dropping. But we had a Winston Cup champion and a NASCAR Hall of Famer and Bobby Labonte on the show. We've had CMA nominated artists, Grammy winning artist Jim Van Cleve, Barry Abernathy. It's a lot of fun. But also at the same time, we bring people in, listen to those shows. And then we have shows like this here tonight where ain't nothing but Franklin County people. We're talking about everything under the sun, from modified racers to truck drivers and wheelers and dealers to custom woodworkers to whatever the hell James does with his mullet. Dean, whatever you do, boating, whatever you, I mean, these are the fun shows, and you bring in the big names to be able to spotlight people that are in here tonight, and that's what I like about doing
It's
this.
educational too, for that matter. Because speaking as a motorcycle rider, I never thought about riding behind a tour bus that way. I will not do it.
But you got to admit, though, getting in that track of that truck right there or that bus right there is a good spot to be at, even in a car, in a heavy rainstorm.
Unless they have a holding
Like
tank.
they got a holding tank. That's going to make me think twice now. Yep.
What's some James Bond shit?
Yeah.
Release the plug.
Yeah. I didn't know they'd do that. I always thought you had to be outside of them.
Yeah, on an RV you do, but I guess on a charter bus, I guess it is.
It's going to be hard to change that motorcycle rider's opinion, frankly.
Yeah, I can promise you that guy.
If he listens to it and he can come on the show, we would like to hear
What
happened.
I would love to hear the other side of that story. I can guarantee he remembers it. If he's still alive, he still remembers it. He probably wakes up every morning pissed off about it.
He probably sold his motorcycle when he got home.
Imagine the PTSD going down the road.
Exactly. He probably sold his motorcycle.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit, gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, literally.
You're going to think about that every time you pull up on a bus. Every time.
Every time.
Rest of your
In
life.
a car
I don't think I'll
or
forget
motorcycle.
at this point.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a lifetime growth right there.
So, whoa, that's a turd. Oh, that's a big
Let's see
one.
the spin out on it.
We had really no direction for this show tonight. We don't know which way to go with it. And now we're talking about turds flying out of the bus. So, I mean, it kind of leads us back to some great stories we've had on the show in the past year. We've had some. All right, so Bodine, what's your favorite story we've had? 1 year.
That's a
50
favorite.
That's a good question,
That one.
actually.
Sorry,
Okay.
And then I want to hear yours too, Billy. Then I want to hear yours too,
Give me
Billy.
your top three like stories or moments for you since you've been on almost.
But the stories that was told after Bodine went home don't count.
We're gonna get to that.
Well, yeah,
We're gonna
because
talk about Crawford and Power.
One time at band camp.
different.
What time of band camp? I don't. Are we talking about favorite episodes, favorite stories?
Stories.
Yeah, just moments you either grinned or gut
Stories.
chucked, laughed, or
Oh, definitely the chocolate buttholes.
I knew it. Chocolate buttholes was great
missed
on
that
one
one.
show, and it completely derailed another. I had so many people hit me up after the 5 Points Music Sanctuary show. Go back and listen to that one. Great. Tyler Gotts, he's on another level of awesome with the stuff he does. And he tells this intimate story. He's 90% deaf. He articulates it better than anybody you've ever heard in your entire life. I mean, it's a beautiful description of what he's doing and how he's doing it. And he's leading down this path of this is an Emmy winning out of nowhere, Paul Hall leading the Bowman Gray podcast. And Bodine out of nowhere drops a chocolate butthole reference.
Yeah, it was
And
a random. It was a reference.
ruins the whole damn episode.
It was
I
later.
had so many people hit me up and say, God, that episode was beautiful. What in the hell was Bodine thinking?
He was following up on the derailment mentioned.
That's how you get the chocolate.
So
butthole.
what's interesting about it is it was like Billy was just talking about different moments then through the podcast or something, and I said, yeah, we was talking about chocolate buttholes and something else, and he's like, wait, chocolate buttholes? And I'm like, damn, here we go again.
So for everybody else, one more time, is there anybody in the room who does not know what chocolate buttholes is? Raise your
Get a
hand.
print of a butthole.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to raise my hand.
Okay.
Get some
Okay.
My hands up.
clarification.
Do you want me to demonstrate?
Just a
Thank
quick
you, but
I thought y'all
just
talking
tell
about
us if you
overview.
would.
Just a brief
James
synopsis.
stood up like, yeah, I'll show you.
I
Was that
don't.
at the very end of that episode?
No.
It
The
was
Jared
right
Stout
in the
band, it
middle.
was like
Get to it.
Right in the middle of Jared
Get
Stout.
to it.
Right
Yeah,
after.
but Jarrett Stoughton is what was the guy that was with him?
Robbie Carden.
Yeah.
Dynamite harmonica player. Give Robbie a follow online.
So anyways, he's
I like harmonica.
I think Robbie was the one that brought it up. Anyways, there's this company in the UK where you can cast your butthole and make chocolates out of it.
I saw that.
So literally what you do is you pay like $50 on their website and they send you a cast kit with detailed instructions. I don't know if you got to shave your ass, but I assume so.
God, man.
Maybe wax it.
Somebody to help you. I'm pretty
But
sure.
anyways, you and I read that
I'm gonna say you don't have to.
Do you have
wax it
one, Jeff?
first. It's
No,
just
I
hard
haven't,
to
but
get chocolate off.
I'm too fat to be able to do what you got to do to get it. So you got to throw your legs over your shoulders and lay back and clean, and then pour the cast in your butthole, and then you send it off, and they send you back chocolates at the shape of your.
And you can send it to people. You can send it to family members.
So with that much detail, I'm assuming you do remember the name of this company.
Well, not right off, but you can Google chocolate buttholes, and that's exactly what it's called. It was like
I mean,
I've also seen the same thing.
If
with
you're
the
going to get a shout out to your sponsors,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I see
the
them
camel
coming
toe.
up high on the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just that.
I mean,
I think that got us laughing harder than anything.
All right, so I
else.
thought
think we've
Crawford
had that.
Power had it, but I don't think so now. Oh, I'm talking about the off mic Crawford.
No, we're going to give him that opportunity. We're going to tease y'all with that one, but we're going to challenge him to come back on at some point in time when they're off tour. And by the way, cool as shit. I mean, they're on tour. They're opening for Travis Tritt almost every single night.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I wanted to hit them up. I looked on the schedule. I was like, are they off this weekend? Because I'd invited them up here to come on and jump in on this show, but they were playing, and the show had to go on tonight.
Well, tonight's not a Tuesday night, Billy. I could take it.
Yeah, that.
Hey, camel toe is better than cleavage.
Do what?
Camel toe's better than cleavage.
Camel toe is better than cleavage.
What the hell is he?
I don't know. Can you explain that?
Or elaborate.
He said the chocolate buttholes. He said they had one for camel toe.
They have one for camel toes
He
also.
said they had one for camel toe. Camel toe is better than cleavage.
Well, it depends on your preference. You know, if you got somebody out there that you really love to hate,
Moose
like
knuckle,
me
either one.
personally, I think if, and look, I'm going to make a sacrifice. I will pour a mold over my butthole and I will cast it if it meant I could send a chocolate butthole to Josh Grice and he wouldn't know about it and he would eat it.
And like it.
Yes,
Yeah,
he would love it.
okay.
He would like, wow, look, I wanted to put him into a donut form, you know, so he wouldn't be suspicious. Because Josh, he's kind of on point with this kind of things because he knows we screw with each other a bunch. But I would love to put it in a donut form. I would do it. I would make that. So if anybody out there wants to see that happen, send me the $50. I'll get the mold. We can put it on a daylight
$50
donuts.
there. How much to get this on the Paul Hall
Maybe
race
he's gonna mold
car?
it for you?
How much to get what on the Paul Hall race car?
The chocolate butthole.
The chocolate.
I don't even have buttholes on my race car.
Yeah, have a big old chocolate butthole right on
We
the
can get
back.
right to the
Like
bottom
them
of
mercy,
this.
but different?
Yes,
Well, send it. Have you sent Josh Grice a bag of dicks?
that was
I
no,
have received
not a
of
bag,
dicks
not a
before.
bag.
He
may
made
not-
Gray a bag of buttholes.
He's got his address. We'll send him a bag of dicks. We can get the money up to send him a bag of dicks. We can find his address.
I sent Matt Everhart a chocolate dick through the mail for Christmas last year. I don't know if he ever knew it came from me or not. He does now, I guess, but not a bag yet, but a chocolate one, yes, and I hope he kind of does. And the same goes for JG as well. I love JG to
size?
death, and I'm what?
Full size?
No 2 pencil size.
Yeah. No. I just ordered it off.
Kind of begs the question of whether he ate it or not.
He did. I got a video of him eating it. But it's not a mold.
Damn.
It's not a mold. Like they didn't send it to me, and I do a mold. It was just kind of one of those generic deals.
Get your autograph, Ryan.
I need your autograph.
Speaking of some of the greatest stories on
Get
the
your
past
shit running
year,
now.
That was running great.
Ryan Woods has stepped into the ring right now.
And
Before y'all get off this crazy noise, y'all just met Joe. Ask Joe what kind of Christmas present he got this year at his new house he's building.
Well, you just ask him, so he's got to answer now, right?
Okay, well,
I've already asked him. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe's over there sipping on a
I'm
bottle
a
of
heavy-
something or other like a champion.
well, I have to give a shout out to Fireball because I drank it and I pay them.
You sponsored by Fireball?
It works. Yeah. So I woke up Christmas morning.
With a sorbo hole?
No, there was what looked like a somewhat overnourished black lady sitting on my porch there at the new house.
Overnourished.
I happen to live next door to the new house. And with a little closer inspection, it was a blow-up version. Wired, not tied, wired onto a green toilet. Sitting front and center now on my deck that's front and center to the road. And back to the German Baptist, this happens to be the road that they head to church. They're on.
Was it waving at you?
So I didn't know it was coming. I was familiar with the commode. I hadn't yet seen the blow-up doll on the thing until it arrived on my porch, and it even had Christmas lights. The battery-operated ones around its neck and, kind of under the titties.
Anal beads and anything?
I didn't look for that, but I'm not sick.
Arrived on his porch.
Considering where it came from, I probably should have checked.
The funny part about that is, I took that commode out of a house, and I had it sitting up here. We're sitting around one night laughing about it, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this commode? And out of nowhere, I looked at Mike, because I'm not real good on computers. I was like, man, can you order blow-up dolls from Amazon? And he was like, what?
Because that was the next question, the background on the blow-up doll.
So it was specifically bought for James, who happens to be, he was the initial, which is on Aileen Road, which is also a well-traveled road on Sunday morning.
I left it there.
So James...
And I knew he was going to be I called him the night before and knew where he was at and knew what time he was going to get home, and he was going to be in no shape to remove the decorations from his yard. But his next door neighbor, don't put her in a foxhole with you. I was like, listen, don't you tell James who did this. 3.25 seconds in, about the time it was going to take Paul to win the race, she ratted me out.
Threw them under the bus and backed up real quick.
It's like, Amos did it.
Nice.
I said revenge is coming to the Montgomerys.
Yeah. Green commode has made its way around Callaway. And it's still in rotation right now.
Okay, so we gotta find it next year.
Well, see, you got it on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas night, she ended up somewhere else. After you brought her home safely, thank you.
I did deposit the whole shebang. I put it right back
still
out
inflated,
on the wall.
Lights still flashing.
And if there were anal beads, they were still in it because I didn't check.
So we decided, she came home early, so we went on Christmas night and took her and set her up somewhere else. And they didn't know because they didn't go out their driveway.
Where'd you set it up at?
Somewhere on Fair Mountain Road.
Mountain Road. Okay.
And as we're setting it up, the neighbors see us out there. Well, that house had just got broke into a while back, Cindy's house. And so the kids had came from out of town to have Christmas there. And I call her. I was like, hey, don't call the cops. I was like, I'm out here, playing a prank. And she's like, I'm in Washington. And I went, who's at your house? She's like, Sterling and Marina. And I was like, I got to go talk to him. Because I didn't see lights come on. I knew, I was like, all right. So I go to the front door. And I'm like, hey, listen, here's what's going on. Next thing I know, the whole family, they done brought the wives and husbands. We're all out there. They're all laughing about it. Simon and Heather don't come out of the driveway that day. They have company the next night. And they're like, hey, man, we like your decorations down there. And I'm like, what?
Heather went. What?
Drove down there on the four-wheeler and was like, oh, my God.
So just to be clear, every single year a blow-up doll is passed around for Christmas time up here on the mountain and beyond.
And two of the people's in here.
This isn't even, and I'm pretty sure this isn't even the first blow-up doll story that's happened on this podcast in the year. So that's good. We got that going for us, I guess.
I would have kept the blow-up doll.
You was in the running this year, but I was like, we cannot do that to Billy.
I mean,
you were definitely in the running.
Billy lives in the city of Rocky Mountain. So
we wanted high traffic, but I was like, man, that might be pushing.
I can hold it for a while.
Further out.
Well, James had a chauffeur's cap on her when she came there. It's the best Christmas ever.
I'm surprised James
sat on my front porch for a year.
I'm surprised James didn't come home drunk and shit in it.
He might have. He don't know.
Yeah, hold on. We don't know the whole story, so
all the neighbors are going to be coming out going to church first thing in the morning. So I made sure all the neighbors saw it.
That's why I set it in your yard.
You should be sitting on it. You should go on the porch and sit on it.
Oh yeah.
Wave everybody. Yeah.
It's the green.
James wouldn't even move it out of the yard, and his Madison was so embarrassed. She was like, man, I can't let the school bus pick me up on Monday.
I made her and her friend.
They drug it out of the yard so that the school bus people wouldn't see it.
Bodine would have got a phone call.
I got to get a school bus to pick me up in the morning. I'm like, well, I'm not moving it.
And her and a little friend
You
went
should
out
put
there.
it at the edge of the driveway. You should put it right there. So there you go.
Yeah, that's where you sit on for the bus.
Merry Christmas, shitter's full.
Bus stop. Yeah.
All right. We I don't know how in the hell we got to.
We've had 2 shitter situations.
Yeah. So Dean, for you, and
Well-
let's talk about the Crumb Snatcher a minute. So, about 4 months into the show, Dean starts coming around, and
King Ding Ling Ding.
let me tell you something else. And dude, basically,
Well, I come to that one podcast when y'all done with the guy that you was in the army with. Remember, I came. I
Yeah,
listened
he was
to
there.
y'all.
Bird.
Bird.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Bird.
Yeah,
I come to that
Great
one.
episode. Yeah, I like episodes are good. Okay. Yeah, so you came and listened to that one. So, and then and we've known Dean forever. We everybody in this room goes way back. And next thing you know, Dean's jumping in saying, "Well, I'm emailing this person and this person and this person." So we add him to the podcast chat, and out of nowhere, 4 months into it, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna have to beg people like John and Amos and everybody and Paul to come on the show once every blue moon to make us relevant. Dean's hitting up every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the internet out there, getting us people that I never imagined. We had Waylon Jennings' grandson. You know, we had Chad Little, Steve Post, Rick Houston, who just broke one of the biggest stories in NASCAR for the year.
Yeah,
He's
going
going to break the internet in the
Yeah,
morning
in
at
the
6 a.m.
Where in the hell did you come from, Dean?
Well, you know, I come listen to that one show, and I was like, okay, all right, yeah.
Not hard to stop the firm.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. That's exactly right. And I was like, all right, well, this ain't so bad. I'll see what we can come up with. And y'all started getting a couple people, and I was like, well, damn, I think I can do better than this. So I said, well, let me reach out to this person. And I guess the first person I reached out to was Chris Williams.
It was.
'Cause
Chris
I
was
knew,
the biggest and the best.
and I knew Chris, and I knew
big
Chris
shout out
through,
to him, Smart
through,
Modified Tour
through a
Director.
couple
He's
associates
helped
of
us out quite a bit.
people I worked with or whatever, and then that kind of led into this, and I was like, well, that was easy. Why not? Let's try this person. And then I couldn't tell you who was after Chris. I really couldn't tell you who I really talked to after Chris, but I would assume.
Well, you got us Travis Armstrong on there.
Yeah,
You
Travis.
got us Ferrum College football coach.
Yeah, Cleve. Yeah,
Adams, Barry Nelson,
Barry. Then
Chad Little, Steve Post, Rick Houston.
then we had Melissa Gayona that was
Yes.
in there. Travis Wells was in there. Jarrett Stout and them was the ones I reached out and got them hooked in. Crawford and Power, I started that mess, but that was I knew you had to finish
It
that
fell
one
down
out
to me.
there.
Finally, I started bugging the hell out of Jake. I was
Right.
like, "Come on, man, let's do this.
Speaking-
Let's do this because they're about to take off."
We always about giving out plugs. Next Saturday night they're playing at the Rooster Walk
They are
down at Pop's
Pop's
Farm.
Farm. Actually, if you listen to this episode, because
May 7th,
I've been in
May
touch
7th.
with Johnny down there about wanting to do a Rooster Walk episode to promote that whole. And he was like, "Well, we got a show going on down there the 7th. I didn't even know it was them until a
Yes.
couple days ago. But they're going to be playing that night and the Rooster Walk.
They are playing the Rooster Walk. They're
Festival.
playing
Both of them, Crawford
Sunday.
and Power.
They're playing
This
Sunday
Sunday,
on the Rooster
if you ain't
Walk.
got nothing with this Sunday,
Well, no, it's Saturday
No,
night
this
that they're
Saturday.
playing their show, but when the Rooster Walk actually comes,
They're playing
playing
Sunday.
on Sunday because I looked at the schedule yesterday.
But for this week, if you can make it down to
Right.
Pop's Farm, they're playing Saturday evening.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
them and someone else. I can't remember who's opening up for them, but
But anyway, Dean just went on a tear. And we always kind of preach community and the things we want to do to help out and to promote and make it like a community deal. That's what the whole idea of the podcast was. Yeah. Let's just and we started off in my office upstairs, me, John, and Bodine, and next thing you know, we're here at the WoodShop. We're at 5 Points Music Sanctuary. We're at Crazy Masons. It is a community deal. We're doing it at different spots, different locations, promoting different people. And Dean's been an integral part of that. Like, he's been huge for us.
yeah, I mean, I tried to keep it as local as I could with different people, but I mean,
You had to branch out.
Yeah,
eventually.
you had to branch out some. I mean,
Well, I like the branching out.
Well,
Like,
no,
dude, the
right.
Jesse Little podcast, low key was one of my favorites we did
Right.
because we had guys, and Jesse Little, he was in the kind of the K&N ARCA series as a 15 or 16-year-old, and he's working with the guys like twice his age, and they've got a great combination going, and their stories were awesome. And now we've got this relationship with Jesse where I want all of us to go down and sponsor him in Charlotte, get the Appalachian podcast on the side of his truck. We're all going to go down there, hang out in the pits, watch the race from there. You know, kind of do that whole song and I mean, things like that. That's Dean.
Yeah, you know, I was so skeptical about, and his name won't come to me now. The guy from American Idol. What was his name, Billy?
Oh, yeah.
Caleb Lee Hutchinson.
Yeah, Caleb Lee Hutchinson. Very skeptical about it, but you know what? I don't know. I don't know how a lot of people listen to it or not, but overall, that's one of the better ones that I was skeptical about. The story was just flowed and it went very great.
Yeah. Once again, go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Caleb Lee Hutchinson. He finished second place on American Idol 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I guess he dates the girl
who won it that year. Yeah.
I mean, the dude, Dean hit me up. He said, "Hey, we got this guy that finished second on American Idol that's going to come on the podcast." And I was like, "Dude, American Idol, that poppy nonsense or whatever." Started listening to his music. The kid's 22 years old? 20?
From Georgia, yeah.
Sounds like, Trace Atkins in his 40s. Fantastic voice.
So that was...
Dude, and I really hope we got that contact with him. I really hope he comes to this area at some point in time and plays a show. We'll pack that damn house for him.
Right.
Just for coming on the show, I'll do everything we can to get that place a sold-out theater. And he can sing, dude. It's wild.
It's still our busiest day because that was the day we done 3 that day. Because
Yeah,
we
that
done
was
him,
weird.
Jack Wood, and then we done Jesse Little in
Yes,
that
we
night.
did. We did 3 podcasts in one day. It was like 1.5 feet of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
We were all confined in our houses, and somehow that day was the day we decided to do 3 of them at once. So, yeah.
But I guess overall, Melissa Gayona's story, it's still, just to listen to how she was and her upbringing to looking at her now, it's probably my most favorite story. Hers and Travis's, just the hockey stuff, I really enjoyed that. But then, just with Jarrett Stout and them, that's probably my top 3 right there.
Yeah.
I definitely say.
What about you, John? How many of them have you listened to? Just the ones you've been on? Damn.
Yeah, that's sad. But you're pretty much.
God, man, I'm trying to find some people in here who've actually listened to some shows to talk about their
But it's not that I don't want to listen to them. I just haven't. I don't know why.
I think our lake
Yeah, you're a truck driver. You don't have time to just sit there and
Well,
listen to
I
the
should be. I should be because I should have just download the app and just listen to them while I'm
Yeah,
driving.
any app.
But you got to forget too.
there's
I haven't.
20 of them.
I
We're on
haven't
20
driven
apps.
in 9 months.
What?
Yeah, I haven't driven in
You
9
drove
months.
across country. You couldn't throw one of our shows on while you were driving.
He's playing
Well, I
Baby
guess
Shark.
one of his
He
shows
can't
on
be doing
Coach
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I could have.
Shark, dude.
John's playing Baby Shark. He can't listen to Appalachian Podcast.
Yeah, you.
I'm on your side, John. Don't you worry about it.
That is true.
What you posted the other day.
Okay, well-
Oh, yeah.
That's where I was getting at.
It was something else you sent me that this morning, or was it yesterday evening that you was playing for Jade, and it led you to something else. I ain't gonna mention what it led you to, but
These people on YouTube. Yeah.
me and John are constantly sending TikToks and stuff back and forth. Apparently, we have the same TikTok feed.
I'm telling
Okay,
you.
well, Bodine, aside from chocolate buttholes, there's a couple more of your favorite over the past year since you've been there for all of them and you've actually listened to all of them.
Lake
I don't
House was
think anybody in
the
this room-
funnest one because I really enjoyed that weekend with the guys and drinking and just carrying on nonsense. That was a lot of fun. I hated it took so long to release it, but yeah, I think that was a pretty good one.
You talking about a location for a podcast, and you go to the Hillbilly shop here pretty soon. Get us all together and have a gathering.
How many guys is it down there?
It's more than we can get.
No, I mean like how many's working down there?
It's just David and Derek and like Scott and whoever shows. Tony comes.
Because imagine it's not a full time deal for them.
No, they love it. They come for free and they get paid to get
pro
paid.
bono,
Yeah,
pay to work for free.
yeah, and we get probably I can get Zach probably come when we do a thing in person probably down there actually.
I was going to tell Billy, he walked out there, if we had the people who said yes, or people who backed out on us, or people that I have not got a hold of,
Be lined up for 2 years.
oh my God. We wouldn't even have time to do this. I mean, it just kind
was.
of it comes and goes, and I can't fault that of nobody. So, and like we said, some people want to be found, some people don't want to be found, some want to do this and some don't. But there's probably 50 emails laying around somewhere or another that I haven't even heard back from.
Yeah. They don't like replying to emails. I send sponsor shit out for sponsors, and they don't. I had one. Ryan sent me one back. UPS sent us one back. Says we cannot help you. We, help somebody else. Whatever. Other than that, that's all we got.
Did you hear what? You didn't hear what I said, Billy. I said if we had everybody that I had sent out a message to, an email to, or whatever, we'd be sitting here naming off 50 more people.
If we had everybody that just actually contacted you back and said maybe or we'll get back to you,
right,
and never did.
And we had some big stuff planned at one time and it didn't pan out, but you know how that goes too. So
it doesn't matter. You take your bumps and your losses, your ups and downs, and losing the people we thought we were going to have on here. I mean, it didn't bother me a lick. We didn't skip a beat. We just jumped right back in it and kept on talking.
Did you see that? Thinking about a recent podcast behind and ones with our favorite, did you see today the news that Bobby Labonte is going to be on the telecast for Darlington's Throwback Weekend next weekend? Maybe one of the announcers.
Yeah, I saw him, Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott, and
I didn't see it earlier.
Yeah, they're going to do. Yeah, I won't go much on that. And I mean, for me, that for me was a huge moment.
Yeah.
Having Bobby Labonte sit across from us, doing a podcast up there in turn 3 at the Motor Mile Speedway, and that goes back to Chris Williams and Dean hooking us up with him. Chris has been huge for us, and the Smart Modified Tour. He's the director. He's been on a bunch of our episodes, so go back and listen. We had him on for Jimmy Hensley, Gerald Compton. Yeah. We had him on for his own show, and I mean, the dude's a wealth of knowledge. He's got great stories.
Is that the guy I met down that day?
Yeah.
When y'all done the
yeah.
Dude, and he's
one that talked a lot.
He's got great stories that we can't. We're not going to tell on air because they're for his own.
I heard a couple good ones just that little 10 minutes I spent with him. He had a couple good ones.
He's been huge for us.
Well, Billy, I'm gonna have to cut out just a minute, but I want to say this real quick before we take out of here. Smart Modified, all these different people trying to angle that Cars Tour thing, and we had talked about that a little bit ago. So it might be some content coming up with that here in the next few weeks. I mean, my plan is to go to Ace next Friday night unless it rains it out, but then I know we're going to plan to do something on the 21st up here with them. So
yeah, so for anybody listening, we just sent out a bunch of invites to everybody, and James, I know you were there for the Smart Mods, you and Isaiah, Blake, and all y'all. Amos, you weren't. May 21st. Let's all be down there. We're going to do a big tailgate thing. We're going to do a podcast in turn 2 in the morning for the Cars Tour race. The Cars Tour race. You're talking about some of the best late models in the country. Barry Nelson, who's been on this show before, him and a couple of his drivers will be there. Dale Jr., a couple of his cars will be there. It's going to be a show. We're going to do a podcast in the morning. I don't know who we're going to have on there yet, who we're going to talk to. But in the afternoon, we're going to have a big tailgate there in turn 2. Hopefully Steve Agee, Amos will show up, Joe will show up. Paul, if you ain't racing at Bowman Gray that weekend, if you are. James, does everybody show up here at Saturday night, make it a big show?
I'll be in the pits.
Well, whatever. You can holler at us then.
You racing? Yeah.
Either way, that weekend will be a good weekend.
We must have made an impression on Bobby Labonte, I was thinking about, because when I seen him at Callaway the other week, he looked at me and said, "That's your Tesla parked up there that I drove past just a minute ago." Like, he didn't forget that.
No, he felt sorry for you.
Yeah, he
does, yeah.
Hey, I guess Bert was having trouble last weekend, and I racing with one of the crew members that worked down there at the shop, and I told Brian, I said, go ask Bert if he wants the Tesla motor to get that damn thing running up off the turns as slow as he is. He was terrible last weekend, so I was talking shit to him.
Yeah, I talked to Bobby the other week at Franklin County about I said, because he went turkey hunting with Charlie Mitchell. I said, how was it turkey hunting with Charlie Mitchell? He's like, it wasn't that good that morning. Yeah, he didn't get nothing that morning, so yeah.
Oh, before the race?
Well, like I said, I guess before Dean and Bodine head out of here, that has been one of my highlights of the year. And there's been multiple ones, but to have a NASCAR Hall of Famer and Winston Cup champion sitting across from you answering questions, and apparently he was only going to be on there for 10, 15 minutes at the most. He wanted to get the hell out of there because, of course, like anybody, with half a brain cell had more important things to do than to hang out with us
get to
slack
do.
jaws. But he ended up getting comfortable and having a good time. And Bobby Labonte sat there for the whole dang hour and 10 minutes and talked back and forth. And I mean, for me, it's a highlight. I mean, that's something
That's good.
you can talk about to your kids with, something me and Bodine can have stories with. And
I remember that night because Billy goes up. We get royal treatment up in the suites. They give us all the food. It was just wonderful. Air conditioning set up there. Had replay, had the TV monitor the live stream and everything. And don't even make it to the modified race and look over and there's Billy.
Oh,
Billy never made it to the modified
Motor
race.
Mile.
At Motor Mile.
No. I made it to the red flag.
Oh, that's right. You did. I'm sorry.
I made it to the red flag. But sorry.
They dropped a green flag. Billy was gone. And me and Scott couldn't wake him up. That was what was funny about it. He was exhausted. I remember him telling what they had done that
Look,
day.
I got
Is that what they call it? Exhausted?
Yeah. I got up
and
super early.
drunk. He was exhausted and drunk. It was a combination.
Exhausted.
I got up
Beer
super early
supply.
that morning and said we need to get up there and get to the racetrack, crack acid on before anybody else is up there. That's what you have to do. The early bird gets
And
the
y'all was
damn
all
worm.
foggy up there,
Got
yeah.
up there, and you know what? We were set up and ready to go. We had to use Bobby Labonte's RV for power. Thank you for that once again. We sat in front of, I guess, Bill Stanley's RV, and we had a heck of a show. It was a good time in the fog, but yeah.
Things got a little out of hand.
Yeah. I mean,
Amos,
show
Amos
started
knows
at-
what I'm talking about. When Billy gets drunk and passes and
the
is
show
sleeping,
started at 9.
it
and
ain't
I
no
just-
waking him up.
I wanted to start
done.
drinking during the show.
10 toes
2
down.
hours. 2 hours later, wide open.
We were on the side of Paul's car for that weekend too, weren't we? Yes, we
No,
were.
it was at Ace.
No,
Ace?
both. We got both.
I think
We
it
got
was
both.
Ace.
I was home with a COVID, so I couldn't tell
We
you.
got both. I'm pretty sure I got photos. We were on
That's
both.
it.
Yeah, I'm in a photo with Callaway.
You are.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you on here in a second too, because you're one of my favorite damn stories of the past year on this dang show.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, he's shit runner now. He's ready to go for the UCAR
Oh, I'm
championship.
telling you right now.
tell his new car.
That night up here,
Damn, I got so many hours fucking working to it.
That is actually one of my
Billy wants a U-car now.
yes. I think that's.
I
a
want
great
a
idea
U-car
for the
too. We need to get
podcast.
one. We need to do
I think
one.
that's a
there
good
you go,
idea.
Billy.
That's
John
a good idea
wants
for the podcast. We're going to talk about that too. Well,
I wanna
if
do
Dean
a
and Jeff
U-car.
end up want to get out of here, we're going to talk about. I'm going to drive a U-car.
But
Other things.
We're going to need two then.
Other things.
we just need to find them pre-built because there's no if you
Yeah, don't.
you get a damn car and by the time you put a roll cage in it and get everything cut off and seats out of it, it'll be a damn year before you go racing. So you're better off just buying one that's done.
Yeah,
put some money
so
into
we've got a good idea behind this. Anybody out here that's listening,
If you was 20 years old, it'd be a different story. That you
Yeah.
was highly motivated and got a piece of shit you can get out of the damn wood pile and just tear it all to pieces.
I can
think we
find
got-
a piece
I
of
think
shit.
we
I
got-
just roll
look,
cage
I
is a
think we got
different
enough
story.
people in
Yeah.
this town that are listening right now. All y'all hit me up, hit Amos up, John up, Paul, anybody up to get to me. Let's all chip in. We'll get like a U-car to go out there and race. We're going to be Ryan Wood's teammate, and we go out.
we had a U-car. It was a Corolla that had been T-boned.
It was slow.
It was shaped like a U.
I had the perfect
drove it all over the
damn
map.
car. I had a
We
BMW,
did.
83 BMW 5
You
series.
gotta look out for Steve Agee first.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah,
Steve's getting his shit ready
Perfect.
to go.
Steve's going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Either
know,
way,
didn't
look,
realize.
We
I
go
let
out there,
it
we
sit
get
in
a
the scrapyard.
slick looking car that runs 4 or 5 races a year up at Callaway for the big money races, and for like the races that the big tours come up for the smart mods in the cars. You know, $4,000 or $5,000, everybody chips in on it. We get a big, beautiful black Earnhardt looking Appalachian podcast race car going up there, and then we have like guest crew chiefs come up and help us out. Like, there's no reason we can't get maybe Dillner or maybe get Dean to stalk Jeff Hammond or something to come up for
Can
a
I critique it
weekend.
one time?
Yeah, Paul Hall can guest crew chief. Anybody we get up
It's gonna be
there
bad
to I
for
mean,
you.
dude, it's a gimmick. If I'm going to go out there and race, I'm going to put
I'll
people
put
on
40
the wall.
pounds in the right rear.
Maybe he'll turn on it.
It's a golden idea. We're going to do it, and we're going to talk about this later, but jump in on this. John, you can race it one weekend. I don't care. I'll race it. We'll do what we got to
Yeah,
do,
we'll
but
do it.
we'll bring
Look
people
at
to the
Chinese
track.
fire drill.
We'll bring
Everybody
people
stop
to the
halfway,
track.
get in and go again.
They had a chain race last night. That
I know
was
some
a
guys that
trip.
do, that
I
do
didn't
this
watch
already
that
now
bit
too.
of it.
Anyway,
Huh?
I know a couple guys that do the U-car anyway. They got a couple cars.
Last night was the first time I've actually seen the chain race really good. I've seen replays and stuff. That looked like a blast. And I talked to a guy, and he said that is the most fun you ever have in a car is a chain race. He said you'd be riding around.
Depends on what part you at.
Yeah,
If you get the brakes to the gas. Or,
if you the brakes or the gas, they said.
Well, y'all explain a chain race real quick because nobody's like y'all.
You have to have two U cars to run a chain race, and you hook them together via a chain. The car in the front does not have any brakes. The car in the rear has brakes but doesn't have an engine.
yeah.
Down in Texas, they call that a Mexican train as they're pulling it all across the border.
2 hours of sensitivity training for you.
Seen it, man.
They also do it on Interstate
Well, this has been
81.
in Texas many a times. The guy that owns an entire county, pretty much. He's a
The
judge.
first time I seen him, I'm like, what in the world is going on? I mean, it's like 20 cars chained together and one dude driving. Every one of them's got a steer in it.
Pulling with a U-Haul truck.
Like
The goddamn
rollback
car
work.
in the back of the
I'm
U-Haul
like, what
truck.
in the world? And their fellas like, man, they call that a Mexican train. I'm like, what? Like taking them across the border to fix them up. Man, you just got 40 tickets before you got a half a mile, Virginia.
Define U-car for
Well, see,
me.
some
I'm
of them have
ignorant here.
3-car.
Yeah, I
U-car
thought
is-
any car.
A
so, hold on.
car is more.
It's like basically you rip it off the street, 4-cylinder car, and you paint it.
Like
What's the difference between that? And, what's the difference between that and any car?
SUV would work.
They run out. Yeah, it's similar, but any car races usually are survival of the fittest type thing.
Yeah.
This is more of an actual race with just the street car, and you get a 4-cylinder, 4-door car, 2-door car, front or rear
Got
wheel
to be
drive.
4-cylinder.
Yeah, it's got to be 4-cylinder.
that- yeah,
I just
that would
read that it could be rear wheel drive.
Actually, I had an RX-7 one time. Would have been perfect for that.
I don't think you have a rotary motor.
Can I have a rotary?
you can't have a rotary. Might not be able to. Didn't think about that.
Yeah,
And all
it's
you gotta
it's not
do
a
is put-
4-cylinder. You're right.
But you want a roll cage in it because you got to race on street tires, and like you're gonna be like going around the track. So you do have to race on streets. You can't use racing slicks.
So like this little geo tracker out here, will it work?
I mean, it could if you want to,
Geostorm
theoretically,
when I
but you
was a
wouldn't want it
kid.
to.
In theory, I guess it'd be a
Good in
short
theory.
wheelbase. That thing would spin around in a damn heartbeat. But you need something with a regular size wheelbase to make it stable. But in theory, yeah,
You can have trucks now too.
we can have trucks. Oh,
A little S10.
we need that. Remember that damn S10 that your brother had that
Had the
blew up? That's what we
2.2 in
need.
it.
That was my damn S10.
That
By
was
the
a
way.
you know.
I had an S10 with
The
the
green
2.2
one?
in it.
Yeah.
That thing was nice.
We
Was it
talked
green?
about it many a times. Did it 4.3 Vortec. I could run some. We
talking
drag race.
I was talking about Chris's, the black one.
Oh
Black one.
yeah, the fat,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
ghost.
and he sold it to Scott, and Scott had that one. He had the red one, the Extreme.
Yeah.
No, I think Chris sold his to Bobby
Everybody
Ray.
used to have an S10
Bobby
back
Ray
in the
built
day, though.
it.
Yeah, my S10 was just
Everybody
duct
had
taped
an
to the
S10
bumper
back
because I
in
rear-ended somebody.
back in 2000.
I had
Yeah.
a 2000 S10 with the extended cab, 2.2. And I drove it until it had like 320,000 miles on it. Cooked the rings.
Dang.
Drove it to the garage.
Actually, both Scott and Chris both had nice Extremes. Those were nice trucks back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
S10s
mean they were
good,
slick.
man.
They look like you could put them on a racetrack, I guess.
Lower it.
Till the tire fell off and the
We were headed to the
and then-
beach that time, and the tire fell off. Remember?
tire fell
He
off.
was supposed to meet us.
Accelerator
and we were gonna pick him up.
stuck. Accelerator
God,
stuck on
yes.
Jeff that night.
Yeah. I damn sure did. That was Scott's red truck. I left out of. I was leaving the lake and come back and the accelerator hung on me. Yeah. It was a sketchy moment.
Yeah, that ain't good.
No,
That's not supposed to happen.
it's not supposed to. Carbon built up in the throttle body, but they just stick.
Was something in the way?
No, carbon built up on the throttle body, and the flapper would stick. The actual the butterfly would stick. And I'm tell you, what, it hit it up in the neutral, and I cut it off. I was fortunate. On Brooks Mill Road, I was doing 100 miles an hour, going. But
As you're supposed to.
Yes. You got a lick of sense too, yeah, I reckon, ain't it?
Oh, no. I'm
All
trying
right.
to do that.
All right.
so, anyways, I gotta get out.
Dean,
Yeah, I had
Bowden, you heading out of here too?
Yep, my stint's at 8
He's got
o'clock.
a race.
Yeah,
got a race tonight.
we're doing an endurance race, and my time frame was 8 o'clock.
You're kidding me.
We've been
Alright.
practicing for a month. Like I've put in a ton of time into this, so paid
This,
for it.
this is going to be one of the best episodes we ever put out for everybody documenting this. Dean's leaving because he's got kids. Understandable. Bowden's leaving so he can race.
I'm going racing. Yeah, the Australians are running right now, and I got to get home and
What track are you racing?
Road Atlanta.
Get the hell out of here.
What are y'all people doing? Just
All right,
okay, man.
we're back. We just got rid of Bodine and Dean. They're no longer here, so now it's John Clements, Paul Hall, James Wright, Amos, Joel, and the legendary Ryan Woods.
Ryan Woods, the fucking Nissan man.
Why is it legendary?
I don't think it was
Because
the
that story
chocolate
is-
buttholes
Legendary,
that ran off
infamous.
either.
What's that?
I don't think it was the chocolate buttholes that ran them other two off.
I don't think so either, but if it was, it wouldn't have surprised me.
Well, when you was asking about the last year, the best, their favorite story, all I could think about was Ryan coming through
Honestly,
here.
I should have. That's what I would have said.
Well,
if yeah.
paper towels wrapped around a finger telling us about the stealing the sisters' ultimate win.
And they came out of nowhere too. Like it was all over the internet and all over the paper, and then boom, to have him just show up out of the blue that night. It's like,
This is a hangout spot for me.
oh, that's yeah, well, yeah, it is. Yeah,
We were laughing about
but
it earlier.
we
He
were
was
already
like,
talking about the story. I'm talking about we were already talking about the story before you got here.
He was like, well, the
So,
brewery was...
yeah, we were already talking about the story. We're like, yeah, this guy, and we were telling the story, and then to have you come in.
So
Afterwards.
whose car are you driving tonight?
It wasn't like
Hey, I locked my doors. Did y'all hear me? Go,
I still have the Nissan. You want to buy it?
Look, earlier Ryan was like, well,
That's
the
the
brewery
one
was
that I
dead
did
that
watch.
night, and he was like, man, I was just going to stop by and see what was going on.
yeah, go around because we were already talking about the story itself.
Because Billy
And
had
then they
seen
were
it on
like-
the
they were
internet
like,
that day and
Yep.
sent me a message.
got him.
We
Hold
were
on,
already talking
Joe.
about
Have you ever listened to any of the shows?
That's the one I did watch.
Okay, then you know exactly what the hell we're
Yes.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
It was epic. It was one of the best stories we had on this show.
I took 3 years off my life during that story.
I laughed
did,
my
laughing.
ass
Oh,
off.
I hurt the next morning. I was sore from laughing.
Burned so many calories.
And Simon, like, he had never heard it.
I've
He's
never
sitting here
heard
in
it.
disbelief. Like, he is really honestly thinking, man, this guy is
never
completely
forget.
making this up out of nowhere. And I'm like, Simon, no, this really happened. He's like, no way that happened. I was like,
Did y'all know it was
happened.
Ryan though? Because because y'all were telling it, I didn't know that it was him when we were talking about.
Oh,
the
yeah, I
footage.
knew it was him. I mean, I knew all about it.
Oh, okay, I
Amos
got you.
knew, Billy-
I knew about
did.
it when it happened.
Got you. Okay, so y'all knew it was the story, and you knew it was him.
Because I told Billy the story, and then Billy that morning had seen where that post that he had posted on whatever it was. What was
Gotcha.
it? Ultima Fam-
Yeah, there's this shit posting page about Nissan Altimas. And I was like, this definitely belongs here.
And he had posted a picture of him holding the trophy and was like,
I
sold
saw it
my
on
sister's
I
car
saw it
and
on
won the race.
The Roanoke checked hazards a warning page or something. I saw it somewhere.
But there's also a page on Twitter. It's a Twitter page like called Dudes Posting Their W's. And this dude gets like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of interactions every week. And he posted that too.
Maybe it was on the meme forum too. I think I saw it in two different
it was-
places.
it was a
See,
lot
I
of
didn't.
places.
I had. That's the first time I met you.
It's all
So
over Instagram. It went on Instagram. It hit the YouTube community, the Reddit.
So in the middle of that was the night that the podcast was up here, and he just happened to walk in, and Billy's like sitting over there like pointing.
oh yeah, and,
And
it was
I was
epic
like,
for
I
me.
looked around, I was like, oh, it's
'cause I'm
Ryan.
hearing-
I was like, yep, that's the guy you was asking me about
I'm
earlier.
hearing this story, and then here comes the man, the myth, the legend, walking in a cloud of smoke over here. I'm just like,
Yeah, King Ding.
we already talking about you, but I had first time I'd met you, so I was like, ooh,
So
You were at the was you ever at the swimming pool at Lee's?
no,
nah, it was the first time I met you. Was that night?
We should do the podcast at the pool one night too.
that's probably going to happen.
That probably shouldn't happen.
Not with Jerry there. Not in Jerry and stuff.
That's
That'd be
exactly
great.
the night it should happen.
That would be
So yeah, I mean,
great.
he popped in and then told the story behind
Yeah.
the viral picture that went crazy through the internet. He gave us the backstory of the viral story.
Yeah, so to kind of piece it all together, and like I said, once again, it was out of the past year, one of the best stories we had on there. You can actually go to YouTube and just get the story condensed. Listen to it on it was the second.
I was so drunk.
It was
that
the
night.
second.
So drunk.
That's too bad.
And you're not now?
It was the second.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
WoodShop Chronicles, because we did part 1 and part 2, and it was probably 20 minutes into the second one. And I guess to break it down, essentially, he took a car that was involved in a high-speed chase and a drive-by shooting with blood and bullet holes to the speedway.
It wasn't a drive-by. No.
Oh,
It was a full-on shooting.
okay.
No, he's just dumb.
He was sitting still.
Yeah.
Okay.
He peeled off. He actually got shot 3 times. He lived.
Pretty good luck.
Yeah, I mean,
It was his sister's car.
And this is a nice
Boyfriend-
car, not
boyfriend
a
took
car destined for the scrapyard.
No,
not a
Nissan,
car,
like
a
the-
car that
she buys
you
it
would
on
have
the
and
road,
drive, like her
vehicle.
primary,
She
her
bought
main
a
source of
car for
transportation.
Means of transportation.
Yeah.
But it ended up being more drama than anything.
The him being the one that got shot 3 times.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
Yeah, bye, girl.
So
What'd you say? Whisper.
his dad owns Crescent Heights Automotive.
No, he lent the car to another baby mama, and my sister
Oh,
was like,
God.
"Where's the car
There seems
at?"
to be some little more details here than I missed.
No, my sister was like, "Where's the car at?" And he was like, "I don't know." Well, she found the car being driven by this other girl and some kids and another girl. The kids were in the car.
Nice.
Well, she called the law and was following them, and the law pulled up, and the girl took off. Like, and she ended up in the pursuit down Melrose and ended up there at the probation office right there, and that's where she got caught.
Good way to go.
Yeah, you're heading there.
I know what the
anyway,
probation
so
office
you
is.
might as
I
well
picked
go
up
ahead and park it
Probate's
there.
there. Uber.
And then it sat at the garage for like 3 months.
His dad's
Yeah, and
garage.
Off of
And I was like, Dad, I said, there's this $2,000 IndyCar race. And I'm like, hey, fuck that car. He was like, yep, fuck that car. And the next day I was like, hey, can I still race that car? He said, make sure there's still fluid in there. And right, so then I was
Sounds
I was
like
filling
consent.
it up. I was filling up the gas, but I put like $20, $15, $20 in it. My sister pulled up.
But
She's
run
like, what
out
are you
the
doing
bottom?
with my car? I said, Dad don't want to hear at the garage no more.
Just relocating, getting out of the way.
Getting out of there.
we're really taking it up to Franklin County speed.
Well, then Ryan was there.
I went to the brewery, actually.
Oh yeah. I mean, the whole story's out there. We're condensing it now, and it's
I mean,
fantastic.
Steve helped me tear it apart, and then they were like, "Hey, you need to do some more stuff. Take it down into the pits, and we'll tell you what we need to do." And I was like, "All right," because they were all for it. Like they were shit posting me on their page. They're like, "This guy's going to take this 2016 Nissan Altima down there." And I'm like,
you kicked the wind out in the pit lanes.
"No, I kicked the sunroof out," which was a huge mistake because it's literally 4 bolts. I could have just opened it up a little bit and got
Glass everywhere.
Yeah, no, I fucked the tracks up.
So the race is getting ready to start.
Well, see, I was there. We take the windows out up right behind the
I took we took
at the bathroom
we
up there.
took the back glass out.
Yep.
And the quarters, and that was a motherfucker, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I still
That
don't have
glue-
the back
that
glass.
glue
in
is-
it.
That glue was a bitch, yeah.
So the race is getting ready to start. You're in sister's car, stripped out, getting ready to run the race.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting in the damn back glass where the back glass should be. I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear Ryan, and it's just screaming. And I'm like, oh shit! I
So
looked
like you're sitting on the trunk of this thing.
no, I'm sitting like on the speakers.
Where the back glass should be.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm
Let's go.
I'm just chilling, and I start hearing my name being called, and it's kids, it's my sister, it's everybody, and I was like, oh man, and I think my granny was there too.
So
That's
she
not
recognized
when I was
the car
drunk as
at this
hell.
point.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had a number spray painted on it and everything. 'Cause
What was the number?
07. But I looked
69.
at Patrick, and I was like, dude. I said, that's my sister. He was like, what? I said, she don't know that this is what I was doing with her car.
You told sister to take it to his mom and dad. And won the race with it.
Just a slight detour.
$2,000.
Yeah,
Right.
$2,000 IndyCar race.
And he paid me cash. It was all there, every bit of it. He's paid everything. He's been really good about it.
Don't
since
get
he's been
used
running
to
the
it.
track. No, I mean, he's still doing good. I mean, that's
But now you racing in the stock 4 division.
Yep, you gonna come?
I'm thinking about it, and I sent Amos this message, and I kind of wanted
Get
to put him on record and ask him about it. What kind of an idea he thought
if
that
you
would
could
be.
run it through the podcast
What's that?
and write it off, it'd be great.
Bunch of us get together, chip in, buy a stock 4 car, run up a Callaway.
That's a stupid idea. He's already bought one.
You know, he's built one, but he's racing it full time.
What's Steve's car?
Steve's car. Yeah,
Is
he's
it in the
got
same
Cavalier.
division?
I think he's gonna run what you brung.
Any car.
No, run what you brung.
is it different?
You can have suspension.
The U class, is that what they were talking about? The U class?
That's actually like the U car of Callaway, because U cars
You change tires and run stock tires and
suspension work and everything.
whatever. It's a fuckery. Yeah.
But what we do is we put a slick ass car out there on the track 4 or 5 times a year
You need to get you a truck.
for the big whatever.
Look,
we do.
I mean, if we're going to do a race car, why ain't we going to just give Paul Hall one?
Because
Paul
P-A-W-H-A-W.
Paul Hall don't run.
Paul Hall comes to Franklin County one time a year in the
He don't want to
modifieds.
run nothing less than modified now.
Yes.
Why not?
Spoiled.
I mean,
He's spoiled.
I don't want to show you up.
No, look,
yeah.
look.
There's other people out there too that run good.
That does, yeah. Hey, yeah. I mean,
What I'm saying is we
I'm
put
not
a
the
stock
only
4 out
driver
there
out
and 4 or
there.
5 times a year. Like when the Smart Mods come run that race, when the Car Store comes run that race, any kind of big exhibitions come run that one. Maybe 2 or 3 other big pot weekends. During those weekends, we all show up to the track. We bring a big ass crowd. We put the Appalachian podcast car in the race, and we have somebody from Carolina come up and be like a guest crew chief.
and
More
throw a
people-
flag so that Paul can win.
More people come to the track to get like
The
dude's
rack and
autograph
win.
or
Put
something.
Paul in the put
Listen,
Paul
Billy.
in the car.
That's just, no, you're
Put
this
Paul in
ain't
the car
thinking
and I'll
right.
put him in the wall.
Look at me.
It all rhymes.
I run
That's
cows
my
and-
name.
I run
Put
cows
it
and
in the
Bill
wall,
houses.
that's my
I
name.
ain't doing no race car. If I want to have something to do with a race car, I'm going to put
Amos,
a
you should
plane and a
fucking
board
drive
on the
it.
side of Paul's.
Amos, you got to drive it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
It can't fit. It's fit
Hey,
too tall.
5 years ago, I
It's
told you
50
this is a
grand.
great idea, and
huge
and,
height.
and
My car caught
You told me
fire
I was
yesterday when
crazy.
I was wiring it up. You should
I
have seen me
still tell
get
you
the
you're
hell out
crazy.
of it.
still a good idea though. Let me get out there and race in the stock 4 division. You're talking about the people to show up
You wanna
to cheer
run it?
me on or boo me, one of the two. It'd be great. Yes, I want to get out there in the stock 4. I want to turn laps. Y'all put me in the car. Let's
Dude,
make it.
it's
It'd
so
be
fun.
cheap. We all chip in. We do
Was
it.
stock for a weight class?
No,
Oh my God,
no, not at
No
all.
afro.
Paul.
No afro.
You got to take weight out the car.
I mean, I'm just looking at it.
the afro might cost you just a little bit of momentum.
You just
Look.
got to take some more weight out the car.
Look, we got long trucking, Blackwater Custom Building. We got the diesel up right here.
We can put
I think
custom
James
heights
works for the
on it,
government,
too.
so just keep him out of it.
Nah, we'll go with
He works for Isaiah.
Oh, better,
Rickman.
better. Yes.
Yes.
Why is Isaiah not up here tonight? Speaking of which, he
Rickman
should
bound
be.
to be a contributor.
He's at the little one.
Oh well, we'll get him up here sooner or later. Speaking of which,
That's how everything starts. You got to start. I mean, if you're successful from the bottom, man, it builds.
I want to take this opportunity to. This episode is brought to you by Amos. Help me out here, Bradley Kennett. What's his business name?
Longworks.
Longworks. You can find them on Facebook. Somebody find their number and hit them up. Look, dude, Brad hit me up. I told him, I said, I'm going to throw your name out there a few shows. This is kind of going to be your
Where is
your
Bradley
commercial.
Kennett
Yeah, this
tonight?
is your plug.
Watch
I'm-
the twins.
Yeah, call
I'm gonna
Larry
do-
Davis
look,
for his phone number.
Look, I'm going to do it for you a bunch, Brad. Look, he hit me up. He showed up to my house. He rode around in my yard on some little machine.
He's fertilizer pro now.
Fertilized some shit, and my yard looks a whole lot better after one go. Amos can probably vouch for him, too.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, his wife wanted a quilt ladder for Christmas, and so he hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, can you build?" I said, "Yeah, I can build it." So I built one. I was like, "Bradley, if it helps you get any brownie points, tell her you did it." Y'all seen Facebook on Christmas morning?
Yeah.
Look what my husband did for me. He's so sweet.
Let's go ahead and out him.
I liked it.
Yeah, just bust them out.
Oh yeah. Don't point at me, Billy. I'll
No,
ask
I'm not.
you next.
I'm not. Just one more time. The name of his business, Bradley Kennett.
Longworks.
Longworks.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hit him up. Hit us up. Hey, this is a great endorsement for him. Thank you
Isn't
for coming
he,
by.
When-
my
isn't he
house.
in Vin-
When I met Bradley, my father-in-law was sick with cancer. I was getting ready to get married. I had never met Bradley. We went floating down the river, got talking, whatever. Somebody I'd never met. He's like, "Dude, don't worry about the yard up at your mom-in-law's." You know, he brought his mower, not getting paid. And I mean, that was a guy I'd never met. So I decided I was going to like him right then. I
Good
mean,
reason to
that's
like
good
somebody.
people. You know, he didn't have no reason to do that for me. So then I had to invite him to the wedding. Then I figured out he just wanted to come for the party. But, I mean, hey, it worked. At least he worked for
Like
it.
most people, yeah, absolutely.
Probably Greenbrier, probably.
Oh, that's probably where we was. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, I was married then.
But, I mean, dude, Longworks, love it. They do all the yards for us. We get done a house. Brad comes take. I mean, he does good. I like.
Hit him
Brad's
up.
awesome.
Huge plug. Hit him up. If somebody can.
He is a plug. He takes up some room.
Shout out to
I don't know. Should I give him their number? I mean, I don't know if I should put out his cell phone number or his business number.
I think you should.
Business
Cell phone
number.
for sure.
Amos, can you look that up for us real quick then?
I mean, I'll give Danielle's. She's way more feisty.
I'm interested.
Either way you go, you get. I mean, we got to. This is. His,
I think
this is his
at
plug.
least half a dozen.
Look, he does great
I should
work.
know by heart.
He does great work. My yard is fantastic, and
Kent, not Brad, but Eric Kent.
Yeah, I mean, he has he does a bunch of mulching. He's got a big mulcher head on a loader, and he does a bunch of land
Just give
clear.
that-
493
I'm gonna let. Call this number to get in touch with him.
493-7286. Tell him Billy sent you.
Yeah, the Appalachian
And there you
podcast. sent
go.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
But he has a big mulcher head on the machine, like a bunch of our hay fields and stuff. We've got him to come over there. I mean, he'll give. Yeah, he can extend the field. I mean, 30. I mean, we probably got 30 feet all the way around the field just by him coming, knocking out the small stuff. And that, that thing's the best thing ever.
And
It
look-
ain't a bunch of digging. It don't kill it. I mean, he does.
Well,
They jam up.
and at the end of the day, he's a good
He
person.
got rid of your dandelions, Billy.
Yeah, he did. He did. Did my wife say something to you about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was one of our private conversations.
Well, he did. He did good work, and
Does she like dandelions, or she like no dandelions?
no dandelion. She wants the yard to look magnificent.
Yeah.
And one treatment, and it looks pretty good. So this is his big endorsement, and I figured with Amos's endorsement, everybody else in here that knows his work. I mean, give him a call because it's worth it. I mean, he does a good job, and he's a good person. At the end of the day, you want to support people in your community that are good people, that have good children, that go around and support local stuff.
Money circulated in the community stays in the community.
Absolutely.
And money, you keep money in a community, it makes money.
Get it back, but you don't.
And Brad's the guy that's going to call you and talk to you on a personal level. That's what you want as well. Somebody's going to come do work for you. You don't want to call a business and then talk to the third general manager in line.
Let's say Amos, I did the ball joints and shit in his truck. Spread it around the community. Worked for everybody.
Spread your balls around?
Yeah. You want to see them? They're
John,
on OnlyFans.
after
You
you
ain't
put-
got one yet.
Ryan,
See my butthole?
Ryan.
People will
Chocolate
pay.
too.
After you put the
It's
tires and
chocolate,
everything on my
definitely.
truck, John was up here and he's saying, he's like, that looks good. And then he sent me a picture. He
already
put
got
them on
it.
his truck.
Oh, shoot,
and
I
I
didn't-
was like,
I didn't
damn,
wait for
I was
mine
like,
to run
that's an
out.
endorsement. John liked it. I'm good with that. And he was like, yep, just right enough of badassness.
I broke the
Yep,
biggest
I sure
fry
did. I
bar.
didn't even let my tires wear out all the way. I went and put them same ones on mine.
Those are great tires, man. I run them on my truck. They're not good for burnouts in a field. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Amos.
no. I'm not doing that.
That was before them.
Donuts.
Was it?
No, I did it in my truck, and it just sat there and spun. I just
Oh, I
spun
thought you was
ruts.
talking about.
I just dug ruts in the field. I'm so sorry. You don't have much hay this
Oh,
year.
no. It's all good. So,
You took
I was
the
taking
dually.
Ryan home one night,
Oh,
and
God,
we
that's
accidentally did burnouts in my dually through the hayfield.
No, we did massive figure eight donuts.
And then,
in a dually.
Behind your
yeah,
house?
in the
upper
hayfield
field,
that I
yeah.
made. And
Hey.
then, it snowed, so they all came down here riding four-wheelers, and they went back there. They run it. It looked like a garden back there at the barn. They did donuts all through the. And I was so pissed. I yelled at Lee, Mike, and I couldn't yell at him because I got to thinking about. I'm pissed about it, and I'm like,
You did the same thing.
yeah, 2 weeks ago I was up there doing donuts in the field with my dually.
8 fucking wheels, all fucking 8 of them. Six. Jesus, but it was so fun. Your computer was it usually sits on green or blue, but while we were going through the field, it was red
Oh, yeah,
the whole time. And then he actually cut through the little small cut through to go beside the chicken coop, and then went around. But oh my goodness, we came back from Martinsville that night. That was a good night. You missed Bristol, baby. Man, you missed Bristol.
I'm sitting there thinking, and
Hey, So if you get a car,
Yes.
all right. So now they're putting dirt on Bristol.
Yeah.
All right. So the Dirt Nationals come to Bristol a couple of weeks before NASCAR and the Outlaws and everything.
Yeah.
And the Hornets come there. We can run our front wheel drive cars there with the Hornet division and run on Bristol, baby.
We should do it.
So the Ford they had to be front wheel drive.
Is that what
Yeah, in that,
Okay.
in that
Was
division,
there a
they're-
special class for them?
yeah, the Hornets. They're usually up north, but oh man, those cars are like $10,000-$15,000 cars. They're like a little mini stock, but not a mini stock.
I would go out there and embarrass myself and my family on Bristol dirt, but I will give it a try. If the podcast's on the side of it and I wreck 6 times and hand 6 times,
Well, we're going
they're
to
gonna,
we're going
that's
to go
six-
natural
that's
bridge
six-
this year
that's-
too.
LW, right?
that's
You get
six-
LW right?
Hey, did you hear about that?
Is that what they were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
I know about
Oh,
it. I've already
you're
got.
talking to somebody that's tightly
My
interconnected.
mom's already gave me the scoop on. they've
Okay.
already-
So and this is once
We had to
again.
quit talking about this at like 3 o'clock this morning, Billy.
Once again, this is an awesome thing that has happened to this show. Talking about a 1-year anniversary, so we had a guy on about 2.5 months ago. His name is Rick Houston, one of the biggest
Yeah,
writers.
that's who's doing it.
Yes, one of the biggest writers for the scene, Winston Cup scene and Busch Grand National scene back, in the, I guess he started in the mid-90s all the way up until probably whenever they crashed out, whatever they did. But Rick here years later has started a podcast called The Scene Vault, where he interviews some of the biggest names in racing. I'm talking he's interviewed Dale Jr., Rusty Wallace, Jeff Hammond, the Bodines, Jimmy Spencer, Bill Elliott. I mean, the guy has had everybody you could think of it in racing, the who's who. And he just recently broke a story about L.W. Wright, who I guess this guy conned a bunch of people.
I'm pretty sure he's kin to James. Like the first thing I said,
All
James.
right, James, yeah.
I know about this.
The first thing I said, James, is he kin to you?
Okay, I want to tell this story because I'm proud of this because Rick Houston, we had him on the show and he tracked down this L.W. Wright guy and got the interview. This is one of the craziest stories in racing history, and Rick tracked him down. He got him on the show. It's releasing tomorrow, Monday morning, probably the same time, 6 o'clock in the morning when
Yep.
this show's going to
That's
release.
So, and how ironic is it? James Wright last night, like he told
The
me about
last 2
this.
nights, I've been telling people about this story. I'm like, come.
Check in.
Your
Look,
last
if you're
name's
listening,
Wright?
if you're
I'm all
listening,
right, but
I'm related to Wrights.
me
Wright?
and your dad have talked about this before.
I'm sure y'all have.
All right,
Yeah.
look,
Carry
hey,
on
I know,
the story
yeah.
so y'all get sidetracked.
Look,
This is
but
good.
but
The
before
Wrights
James
I'm related to
continues,
is crazy.
if you're listening to this
Never said
podcast
it
right
right.
now, wherever you're listening to it, like Apple, Facebook, go follow the Scene Vault podcast and listen to this L.W. Wright story.
Yeah.
Because he got him.
I guarantee
He
you
got
type,
it.
you type in LW Wright on Google, you're gonna find this story in the morning.
So tell it, James.
Well,
Paul, you know who this is, don't you?
is it?
Yeah.
You leaving out there? Hey, appreciate you did a hell of a job last night.
That was a hell of a run, man. That was a huge step forward.
We're gonna get you again, man.
That was a huge
You and
step.
Hillbilly Racing, everybody, we appreciate all y'all. And
We gotta do it again.
That
We
was
get a
that was
silver bear.
that was a huge step forward, though. Like,
Yeah,
you
one
can't-
step back.
yeah, but first, but but in
Hey,
life,
that's
a huge step
probably made
forward.
more news than you winning.
Huh?
It probably made more news by you.
finishing second, then him winning.
I know you want to be
You
that.
were there.
You wanted to win.
You were there.
You could have went in history.
but in reality,
It was there. You
We're
did
we're
it.
gonna get you more opportunities though to win one down there. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get you there.
Paul, you want the honest truth? You let them underneath you.
Well, then come there, come out and
Hey Paul, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
Be safe getting home. All right, James
All
gonna
right,
talk about LW.
LW Wright, 1982. This guy cons the heck out of NASCAR. Like back then, there was no documentation to keep these you from saying I've done this, this, and this, because it ain't like where you can just like internet everything now. So this guy con artist his way in like this. He got, I think it was Sterling Marlin.
Yeah.
And he got with them and convinced them that he was a race car driver. He was wanting a car. He's looking into getting into racing a race. And so they gave him a car. He's like, I got all this money.
$15,000. Like,
Yeah, gave him a check. And gave him a check, and they like all this, and this time they were getting sponsor money. They're getting all this money coming in, and it's all going in this L.W. Wright's bank account. Well, they go to Talladega, and he races. He wrecks in qualifying.
Dude has never been in a race car in his life.
Has no idea.
He shows up to the fastest track in NASCAR.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he wrecks in qualifying, but somehow he still makes it into the race.
First lap.
Maybe. It probably was.
He was giving it hell.
Yeah, and so he gets in the race. He races 17 laps, somewhere around that number, and he's like, "Hey, look."
Gets black
And NASCAR realizes this guy does not know what he is doing.
Yeah, going way too slow.
Yeah, they're like, "You got to get off the track, buddy." And so they black flag him. He brings it in, parks the car, disappears. All the checks that he had wrote, all these got all the sponsor money. Like he took all the money. And, all his checks bounced.
What?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was all an alias.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, but this guy has come out now.
He disappeared after that. This is in 1980.
Yeah, this has been, 82. It was 82.
40 years ago.
40 years ago.
This
40-year
is
anniversary.
Is this your uncle or something?
No.
Yeah, that dude.
I heard about this 6 months ago. I got, for some reason, I heard about this. It was like 6 months ago. I heard about L.W. Wright. And now.
L.W. Wright is an alias.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this story's come back around, within the 6 months of me hearing about it. It's pretty cool, I'd never heard about L.W. Wright until this.
But his mom's been connected
Yes,
in NASCAR.
my mom's
So I should have
husband
an alias
is
then.
friends with Rick. They've talked. My mom's husband has talked to Rick, and they know
Houston?
Yeah.
He does.
He shot for Winston Cup scene.
Brian does.
Oh, yeah.
Like he
Brian
did steal
Hallman.
shots. Like he did steals for the races.
But he knows Rick, and he's, I don't know if he's been on Rick's show or not before, but he knows that me and him talked about L.W. Wright when I found out about it, and he knew about him, but now now that Rick, supposedly there's a uniform involved in this.
Yeah, that's the evidence.
Yeah, that's the evidence that he
There
brought.
is one picture of the so-called L.W. Wright and the uniform that he has on in that photo. The guy that Rick interviewed provided that.
Yep.
That, and the guy looked like him, beyond.
And supposedly, Brian talking to Rick, LW answered every question that he had. Rick would ask him, how did you do this? How did you get around this? And he answered every question with a believable, this is what happened answer.
Yeah. So this show is coming out with tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow
morning from this show, and we had Rick on this podcast. So another big milestone for us to have somebody that he's been the biggest talk in NASCAR internet for the past 24 to 36 hours, breaking this story. This is movie worthy. Yes.
And they've signed him, whoever the guy is, and Rick have signed exclusive rights, I believe, that if there's a movie that comes out, the story that Rick gives, we're only getting a 25-minute interview.
Yeah, Rick usually does his show in 2 to 3 segments.
Yeah.
So it'll go over the span of 3 weeks.
He has 3 hours of interview.
Yeah.
And he's done 25 minutes to be released tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's gonna bring you back. If he's
I recommend following his podcast and listening to it. It's going to be one hell of a show, and having him on here was one of our bigger highlights of the year.
You've told that story twice in a 24-hour period in WoodShop.
3, or
in the WoodShop.
Oh yeah, I told it the last 3 days.
And for the past year for us too.
It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a cool movie.
Yeah,
Thinking about that.
I think so.
I got it beat.
You got a beat. What's your movie?
The Mockingbird.
The Mockingbird.
The Mafia Mockingbird.
The Mockingbird. Diaries of Mockingbird.
We just don't know if it's Lifetime or ID.
Does anybody know what in the world happened to John Clements? Where did he go?
Him and Paul Hall's talking.
Oh yeah, they'll probably get a sponsorship deal going for the rest of the season. John's going to get up
He
in the
needs to
modified.
buy a car, man. He needs his own car.
One of these races.
Hey,
I mean, we can get Paul. We can do the top half wood grain, the bottom half blue and green.
I sponsored a car one time and wrecked about the first lap.
Paul ain't gonna do that to you.
Can we have long Blackwater Road?
Well,
Let's get an Appalachian
John
podcast
knows
in there
that.
too.
right.
Well, when we talk about the past year, you know, John and Paul are both a huge part of it, and the Smart Modified Tour, and of course, Amos opening up the wood shop here. Some of the best shows we've done, in my opinion, have been up here at the wood shop. Crawford and Power, to me, it's up there in the top 5 that I've
We need to
had.
have a
And
podcast.
the next day was probably in the top 5 worst days I tried to work.
Me too,
The
forever.
day after.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It was
Amos.
miserable.
We need to have a podcast.
I was like, we
rolling
could
dice.
only get them on a Tuesday night. Bodine and Dean didn't even stay for 25 minutes. Tonight, I think we got them for an hour and 10 minutes. That night, they stayed for 25 because it was a Tuesday, and it was just me, Amos, and Josh Grace.
And Ethan and Jake,
Jake,
Crawford and Power. And, oh, it was great. I mean, the mic was off more than it was on through that whole podcast. I mean, like I said, it was like 3 in the morning when we finally left here or something. And I got to work the next day. I got guys showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It didn't dawn on me that Jake and Ethan were on vacation.
oh yeah, they're
I
musicians.
mean, they wasn't touring, so they didn't have to work the next day.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
It was
Just
great,
sit
man.
there
It was,
and go-
dude, that was one of the, that was great. That was awesome.
One of the coolest, probably nights of my life. I mean, like, you know, you have those moments here and there depending on what time period of your life you're talking about. But I mean, to hear that story about the race car driver and the
Ferraris.
yeah, we're gonna
And
save
Porsches.
that. We're gonna save that one.
That's a good
that was an
story.
all
That's a
fair.
really good story.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that was off mic.
And they walked out here that night and said, "Can we come back one night and have an X-rated podcast?" I said, "Well,
But think about how many nights up. Think about how many nights up here is just like that. I mean, I've sat here with Joe, and me and him have sat here and talked about stuff. Me and you. I mean, it's a good place to just let it all out.
and everybody out there should find their wood shop. Find that place where you can congregate with your people and your friends and come up with good ideas and talk and shoot the breeze and have things like that happen to where you can, you know,
The
pass
places
those
that
stories.
don't exist.
It's like a doghouse, but a very entertaining one.
Good way to put it.
Well, you know that the next morning you're going to be in the doghouse, but
Right.
it's worth the risk.
Right. You should go and have
This
it.
is
Yeah,
a
I mean,
good place to come.
The only
to
good thing I got
relax.
going for me is I'm home.
Right. Yeah.
I have that argument. You
Yeah.
and Billy don't. Or James.
No.
Billy's got the podcast to back him up. Though.
I mean, last weekend we were up at Simon and Heather's, who didn't show up tonight, but I got a text message that I'll read to you later, Billy. Apparently Simon, well, you know, like most English motherfuckers, they want to come in second, so he kicked it too hard for the first 2 days of the weekend and can't make it for the third. Sorry, Simon.
Very disappointing.
Uh,
He would have made a good, you know, year anniversary.
Simon's a funny
voice.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
I like Simon.
Good day.
Is that his wife? That's usually with him.
Heather?
that's his mistress,
Mistress.
paid.
Is that like the same thing?
Can be.
No, that is his wife.
Same
She
thing?
married.
Yeah.
She married way down.
Yeah.
She was cool too. 'cause
Well,
she
just
got
like-
on the
she's a
podcast that
sweetheart.
night.
Just like all our wives. I mean, look at Tara. She married way down. My wife, I don't know why the hell she stayed with me.
Why the fuck can I find that?
Don't marry down.
Well, no, they need to marry down.
I did.
It
I
happens.
guess that's a perfect way to do.
We're living proof. It happens.
Yeah.
There's hope.
You're included in that.
There's hope for you.
Marsha
buddy.
had way, she could have held the way better standards than you.
Right.
Do you think
At least
so?
I'm funny and I got it.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now. I seen this quote years back, and I honestly, God, I think it's true. Behind every successful man is a good woman.
I seen a quote about success. You was talking about success earlier, and it said
We're
something,
talking about different kinds of success.
something
Joe.
about success.
Y'all are
there.
lucky because
Success is nothing but a mountain of mistakes that you're standing on. Now, I ain't saying that that's pertinent to the significant others necessarily.
But if you go into the business world with a chip on your shoulder, how much motivation is it?
Well,
because I feel like you and me both went into the business world with chips on our shoulders. You can't put a dollar on that.
Well, when you have more of a point to prove to yourself than you do anybody else, then
if you feel like you've let other people down, I'll prove it.
Yeah, I think I'd buy that.
And I feel like that a lot of that's lacking. No, nobody really has the pride to want to prove something to themselves or anybody else.
Motivation, man.
It's
all motivation. How you wake up in the morning, how you
both of us, from early on, if you've seen somebody else do something, I can do that.
Well, I think some of that's feeling entitled to success.
Yeah.
If you start out feeling entitled to it, I think it's harder to come by than if you set out proving to yourself.
But if you have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go put your boots on and go milk the cows, there's persuasion to want to go above that.
You gotta wake up earlier than that. Early bird gets
the
the worm.
Far career-wise, trucking beats the ass off of milking cows.
Yeah.
And it's warmer in the winter.
Right, yeah.
Much.
And like I've always, for some reason, I've always had a connection with John.
Where in the world did you disappear to?
Like us
Paul,
three
Paul
right
was
here.
catching
Like there is more similarities there is not more differences, but more similarities. And me and John was talking about it one time. About how do you want to strive to be more successful? And John, and this is something I never even thought about. And he was like, Amos, the biggest thing we have in common is both our parents were together. So you couldn't juggle one against the other. I mean, if Daddy said something, Mama was going to stick behind it. Mama said something, Daddy was going to stick behind it. And at that point, but that's a big driving factor.
That's structure too.
Yes.
Well, I remember when you was talking about that, I gave you some off the wall comment about, I was like, you asked me how do we teach our kids to be more successful? And I remember I give you the answer there because people ask me sometimes, how do you do all this stuff? And I'm, trying to tell them, but I can only tell you how to be successful the way I was successful. Like I can't tell you how to be a successful contractor, how to build a house, but you can. I can't tell you how to.
But it's all the same.
But it's all the same.
It's the frame of mind.
It's a frame of mind. And I've been giving a lot of thought to that, and I still don't really have a good explanation of how to tell people to be more successful other than this.
Show them.
Well, the bottom line, all roads lead back to this one fact. You got to make more money. However you figure it out, however you do it, because if you think about it, if you want to be a successful student, college, race car driver, everything is going to come back. You got to figure out whether it's working or making money or earning money, whatever it is. Your success, really, you got to make more money. Everybody has goals. Everybody has problems, and they all lead back to money.
But I think a lot of,
that's not answer the question, but at the same time,
to me, the way I'm trying to see success is to be happy with myself.
Well, and I said this outside too about perspective. It's about perspective too, because like I said, you're trying to be happy with yourself. Somebody could say, "Listen, my success is I go buy a 12-pack of beer. I'm a success." It could be that, or it could be you could have $1 million mansion somewhere, and you will still feel like a failure. You're right. So money doesn't matter, but at the same time, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say.
Being comfortable.
Be comfortable.
Comfortable.
But you have a goal. And being success with I would say maybe money is not the root, but I can say this: the lack of finance will stress you out and cause you a lot of grief. I'll say that. I won't say maybe it won't make you happy,
right?
But the lack of finance will cause you a lot of grief.
Back to motivation, and you have to work.
We have to work for it.
Last night.
And not be miserable. There's a happy.
There you go. There is, and it's about your perspective. It's about your mental state.
So last night, me and James sitting up here talking,
That still wasn't a good answer.
I
to
mean,
that, what me and Amos.
I mean, I feel like we're
I'm still
doing
working.
a lot-
I'm still working on that.
It's hard.
I'm still working on that question Amos asked me. A good answer.
I feel like that me and him are
Amos.
two of the luckiest guys in the world.
What's your answer? To
I feel like I'm
with
lucky.
our
I mean, I
women,
feel like we're
you
all
know,
lucky.
we're-
We're all sitting here.
I'm so lucky.
And we
Yeah.
were talking about some stuff, and this was straight out of the blue. And I was like, I've never looked at my wife's finances. Not one time.
I never looked at my wife's finances.
Never.
I've never opened my wife's.
And
never.
James
We
is
got
like,
separate.
neither
We
have
got
I.
separate bank accounts.
That
Goddamn,
right there
y'all
is
are
the
fucking
root
We have
of
separate
that.
bank accounts.
Y'all are lucky.
My wife has separate bank accounts. Her
right
bank account's separate. I see her bills are paid. I tell her, you want to go buy a $2,000 purse? Go buy it. I don't give a crap. As long as your bills are paid,
Yeah.
you want to go buy it. You don't need to ask my permission. Go buy it.
Yeah. Me and my wife both. We have. I have my bills at the house. She has her bills at the house.
Yep.
We know who's paying who.
Who's paying what?
Yep. And after that,
Now,
And another thing, I'll say my
wants.
wife too. We don't even argue. Like right now, personal property tax comes out. This is literally in my house. If I get the mail that day and I get the personal property bills, I pay them all. Mine, my wife's business, everything. I pay. If she gets the mail that day, she will pay my personal property tax. We don't even argue about stuff like that.
As it should.
It never even comes up.
It never comes
It's
up.
never even-
I never even know.
I'll
I'll be sitting like, where was my personal property tax bill at? She'd be like, oh, I paid that 2 weeks ago. I'll be like,
That's great.
a doctor bill come in, $3, $4, whatever, $500. If I get the mail that day, I write the check. And
But
she'd be like, where's the bill at? I'm like, I paid that 2 weeks ago.
That all goes back to the finance thing.
Yep.
You know, that right there is 99% of arguments
Well-
is over a finance thing.
well-
and that's what we were talking
Maybe
about
this is what I was talking about a minute ago when I just said it boils back down. Maybe this is what I was kind of.
It's a pyramid.
It's a pyramid.
Now,
Maybe we're
I mean,
kind
Joe
of
and his wife own. I mean, they
Should be
work.
really close to the
You know, they
bottom
own
of
their
that
business
pyramid.
together. That's a
So you
different.
They know what they
Yeah,
have.
I mean,
who are and
yeah.
who you are and what
She
you
gonna
wanna
spend
do with your
Joe's
life
money.
and
Yeah.
everything.
that's good. I like her too.
Yeah, but the bottom of the
She's like,
pyramid
I want a house.
should
We're
be
gonna have a house,
finances, really close to it at least.
make it. Yeah,
I'm
make
gonna
it
take care of
important. Maybe it's
it.
not your. Maybe it's not your.
But
you
your
know, obsessed with
finances
it.
can defy who you are and what you do and where you go and who you see.
I think the
yeah,
ideal for success is if you can pay your bills and be content with how you
And
make
that
your
goes
living.
back to
There
the
you go.
motivation and will to work and what
Balancing
you're
time
willing
and
to
money too. Balancing your time and your money and yep. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's about the money, but I feel like even when I said it and then you came back around, it kind of came back around too. And then James, it kind of came back around. It's like I'm like you said, that's maybe not the bottom layer of the pyramid, not the foundation, but it's at least
it's
towards the
gotta be
bottom.
close
It's
to
got to be
it.
the bottom of that second layer at the bottom.
It's got to be close because money will hold you back. You'll be working
It's important.
and slaving. You'll be working a job just to hold your bills for,
But
you know.
you can make as much money as you want to make. Anybody and
about
everybody
that.
can. Look at John, look at me, and look at Joe.
Right.
That right there, it's not about skin color.
No
it's
college
not about
degree,
your
high school
religion,
diploma,
your
right here.
creed. It is about the mindset of. I mean, look, some people want to be business owners.
Everything
I mean,
is
and some people
figureoutable.
don't. I mean, Joe was wheeling and dealing, buying and selling dump trucks when he was like 13 years old, riding down the road on a four-wheeler, pulling a lawnmower trailer with a lawnmower on to mow the neighbor's yard at 12, 13 years old, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Is that lawnmower behind your building?
I've
Please
had
tell me
jobs
that.
since I was 12.
We'll go right,
I was
same
mowing
lawnmower.
grass. Yep.
No, it
Same one.
12 years
Now,
old.
I'm serious. How old was you? 12? 13?
Yeah, thereabouts 13 probably.
Yeah. It's something you got in you.
It
it's
is.
something you got in you. Or you either have it or you don't. It's
The
like a
grit.
switch. It's like a yeah.
Tell me I can't grit. That's exactly what it is.
Well, most people, like I say, at 5 o'clock, they're ready to punt. They're done.
I think it boils down to largely there ain't much quit involved.
Yeah.
Don't matter what you do, but
Yeah.
if you have quit,
Yeah. Well, like I tell people, like I got the Uber sticker on my car. And I went to Uber last night. I made $104. I left at 9:30 last night. I was home about around 1 o'clock.
That's not bad.
No, and I tell you what, I ain't gonna tell you why I had to go home. But I can tell you what, let's put it this way, I wasn't gonna go somewhere else. That's the only reason why I went home when I went home. But it's something I just did. But people would say, I say, listen, hey, ain't no money too small. I don't even look at how much money I made. I set a goal, and it takes me this long. It takes me 5 hours to make that money, or it took me 6 hours to make the money. I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna do it if I can.
And he's getting
I
paid
just
for it
went
now.
in.
John used to Uber me when Uber wasn't Uber.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting paid.
I sure did. I went out. Yeah, I sure did. I've been driving about every Saturday night for about the past
Friends
5
like
or 6,
that
4 or 5
are
weeks.
hard
I got a
to
couple
come
buddies
by
that do
sometimes.
Uber and
Yeah.
whatever, but
It's busy as crap.
They have fun.
It's a lot of fun, especially if you like if you were driving Uber and we were driving, like me and Thomas used to do. We get on the phone, talk to each other. We were on the Bluetooth.
Uh-huh.
We used to. It's like we're hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's like fishing, but we're making money. It's like fishing. You never know. You never know where you're gonna get a bite at.
Yeah.
You never know where you're going. You never know who you're gonna meet.
How many of those cleanup fees have you gotten?
No.
That's like a one-
I've only had one person yak in my car, and I gave them one of those blue things you get from
Yeah.
the hospital.
You
and
had
they,
one?
Yeah, uh-huh. And that's
Oh
it.
my
And, I,
God,
and I take it back.
sounds
Last
like
night I had
that.
one belligerent drunk.
I have to go see somebody.
He failed to realize that I don't know where you live at. He was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Dude, I got my iPad. I got an iPad, not a phone. I got an iPad that has the GPS on it. You can see what it's saying. It's talking. You can hear it. I'm following that." He's like, "Where are you going? There's a shortcut you could have took." I was like, "Dude, if you want me to take the shortcut, I'll take it." But that's the only. This has probably been the most belligerent person I've ever had in the years I've been doing it.
Last night.
Last night,
Yeah.
I had him. I picked him up from the country club over off of Melrose. Never knew there was a run-up country club off of
There
Melrose.
was a huge ass shoot club. Melrose
Yeah,
last
there's
night.
I
that's
found
the
that. Yep,
misnomer of
and
ours,
took him to
I've heard
Mint
one.
Mountain. It was a long trip. It was a nice trip.
That's what I used to do. That used to be my hustle, was taxi driving.
Yeah.
When I didn't have
Well, I
anything
can
at
smell
all.
a discount coming all the way back to Hopkins Road from Roanoke right now.
Yep, discount. Yep.
I always had a car and I always
Yeah.
had a license.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. It's one of those. You get enough.
You can make money.
You
with
get
it.
enough. You get enough $50 bills. They add up,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and then you can do something with those $50 bills.
You can do something with.
You can do something. Well, with 20s, you get enough $20
Yeah.
bills. That adds up to be 100. 100 adds up to be and you could do something with that money. It's all these little pockets of pools of money. Sometimes you got to scrape it together to get enough to go do something with.
Right.
All it takes is a good idea.
My side
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
fixing cars.
And-
I have enough.
And that's
people
great money
on the
too.
side,
And
like-
sometimes you don't know until you do it. Sometimes it takes you got to prospect. Sometimes you got to go. I went out and drove Uber for 6 hours and made $6 in 6 hours. I learned this is not the time to go drive Uber.
No, exactly.
But I had to go in
You-
in that
you
time of day. I had to go and do it to learn that.
But you
don't-
didn't go to anybody and start crying.
I
and
didn't go
say,
crying.
Well, hey, I didn't make
Well,
my $10 an hour,
or
so
I'm because
reimburse me.
Yeah, because because
Because
because of that. Yeah, oh yeah, they didn't give me
You
trips.
don't call Uber and say I'm gonna quit.
Yeah,
You figure out a better way to do
Very
it.
better way to do it. Okay, I'm not gonna come out this time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
so
gonna
we're
wait and
mark
come
that on
out.
the calendar.
Yeah, mark out calendar. Yep, put that on my week. I'm not coming out right now.
Wednesdays at 2:00 ain't
Yeah,
good.
we ain't good. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
tell people from the county that, hey, I'm coming back through here if y'all are going out and you need a ride.
Yeah.
My
There are a
cousin
few
Jerry
that
and
need a
Stephanie.
ride.
Well, I got a snap last night from some people because they were kind of out on the cusp. I kind of out in the boondocks, and sometimes late at night they were
What are
really
you
cool.
calling the Boondocks?
Well,
Here?
I would say with no. When
Definitely
with
Uber
with Uber. Yeah, this is the Boondocks for
I'm in the
Uber.
Boondocks.
For
Yeah.
Uber. You tell you what,
This
if you
is
call for an
way
Uber here, I'm not coming to pick you up. Let's go.
No, so if you look
Uh-huh.
up for an Uber around here, there will be
None available.
Exactly.
But you could
can't
send one.
call
You could
them.
send one, and they'll send you a message, and I could accept or decline it.
Okay.
And I can tell you now, well, if I knew it was Amos, I'd come pick him up. But
I ain't calling Uber. I'm just calling you.
coming on this side of
What
town,
happens
I'm
if I
like,
call you?
yeah, I'll come get y'all.
I mean, how does that work?
$100.
Well, what you would do is you'd call me, I would go
$100 is how
offline,
that
and then I would come drive close by.
Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't even charge you, but I'm saying
you
if
wouldn't
just technically.
even have to worry about hitting up
Yeah,
Uber.
yeah,
for
technically,
John.
this
You
how it
just
works.
text John.
I'll
and
come
then
get you.
Let me tell you what happens if
Grease
John
his-
comes
grease
pick
his
you up.
hands.
You end up somewhere down next to Pinhook with Billy flipping over Porta Johns,
They'll nail to the ground.
riding in the back of a car. That's what happens if John comes to pick you up.
Yeah.
That's one of the most underrated stories we've had in the year of this podcast was when you and John were up here. I don't remember which. I guess it was the original WoodShop when y'all kind of both realized that Porta Johns from certain sites in Callaway were redistributed in other areas and they all
Yeah.
connected to each
No,
other.
because y'all told me about the German Baptist church. Y'all flipped it at the door into working while we was trying to build the church.
Y'all did nothing. We were just talking stories.
Yeah.
We were just telling things we'd heard.
We heard about this.
We had heard, through the grapevine.
And there was a cross got nailed to the roof of that while it was under construction, too.
I don't know about that.
I wanted to bring up one other thing that was really cool over the past year. As for Tara's birthday about a month and a half ago, I had invited Amos and Tina out to go downtown with us. I was going to provide everything.
Oh, thank you.
Everything.
Thank y'all for not going.
You're welcome, John.
John, let him know what he missed out
Billy
on.
told me I owed you up.
Hey, it was nice. It just worked out. We actually had a babysitter that night, too. My sister was in town, so we had somebody to keep Jade, and it was nice. The first time I'd been to
I
Frankie
missed out on
Rollins. It was the first time I've been to Frankie Rollins. Yeah, that Wagyu. Oh man.
Tell you what,
Where'd y'all go?
Lord.
Frankie. I'm gonna give them a
Went to
shameless
Frankie
plug.
Rollins?
Yeah.
Shameless
First time
plug
I'd been
right
there.
I
now.
have a friend that went there,
Shameless plug.
and they closed it
Go
down.
to, they're not giving me a
Okay.
dime. Go to
Yeah.
Franklin Rollins and get you. Hey, I told John.
It
I
was a
said,
Wagyu.
look, I said $96.
I know what it is, but I never had it.
What is it now?
You've
It's
never
a
had it?
Wagyu steak, Wagyu beef.
But like
It's a ribeye on steroids.
It was $100
real
ribeye.
Wagyu beef.
$100
like,
ribeye.
A1.
Massage, like they
That's
get
just
massage,
too
like
damn
masseuses
much, man.
massage the
And they-
cow.
or they
They
put the
beat
cow
the
up
beer
in like
in
a
the
stirrup
barn,
or something. I don't know how they do
Dude.
it.
They
Yeah.
chug
Well,
beers
there's
down their throat.
Oh, it's great.
There's certain
But
places
like, I mean, they
where
get massage. I mean, them cows are treated better than I am.
It's $100. It was $100 ribeye. It was
Hey,
$100.
Amos, you got
And there was no disrespect to
No,
John.
it's the way they're treated. I mean, it is a kind of cow, but it's also the treatment they
Whether
get.
like he just ain't walk. He can't just go walk around. He's in a pen. But
Like,
it's
I mean,
like
they get
it's like
massages.
yeah,
I mean,
it's like he's
a-
got softer hay, and it's like they give them
stump
like
broke and all. It's not-
yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
You're just getting
He's not gonna get out into some wild
gets the
onions. He's gonna
treatment
have
before
he's
the
gonna have the
slaughter.
best hay where
Yeah.
somebody else might get
it
some
is
just
pretty crazy.
you know what I mean.
so I've kind
But
of
is
made
it much of a difference?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes and
yes.
no. Yes and no. Honestly,
I mean, I go to Ippy's and
for the
get
price.
No.
For the
That's
price,
not gonna
I
be the
just
same.
it's good. I would say once or twice a year. I'm not going for Wagyu every week. It was better, but for the price, better. I just don't know.
I mean, I just pretty much
I
go to
don't think I
Ripon
can
Creek
pay
Farms.
that much for
Yeah.
a
Not
steak.
not for the price.
It
Better
was.
every
Don't get me
week.
wrong, you could taste the difference, but I just don't know. It's not something I want to do.
It's the like the fibers of the
and
steak
it's the
are
experience.
different.
It's the experience
Look,
too.
if you're gonna go there and you're ever
If
gonna
I
spend
had money
$100
like that, I
on a
might
steak,
do
that
it.
That's the one to spend it on.
that you don't have to deal with yourself, that somebody's gonna do it professionally.
It took them 40 minutes to
and
cook that
you,
steak.
You don't need any steak sauce or nothing.
Because I was going to get mine medium well. She was like, medium well is going to take 40 minutes. And then we were like 30 minutes on ours. But she's like, it's going to take the cook like 40 minutes to get your steak to
They do it
medium
that
well.
slow.
Yeah.
How much
So-
is that?
and
cookie?
the
It took 15 minutes off the dinner by getting it medium.
I figured they seared it.
How much is it
It's
getting
not a
paid?
seared-
No.
It was seared at the end. It was seared at the end. It was seared at the end. Yeah,
they
they
cook it
seared.
slow.
Yeah, and they seared it at the end. You could tell it
Every
was
side
seared.
is a la
Okay.
carte. They have
Uh-huh.
this. They have this lobster bisque. I mean, look, I never knew what the hell lobster bisque was,
was-
until I met my wife, and then she was like, "Try it out." I mean, I could have sat there and ordered that all night long.
We
and
had
kept
Brussels
on-
sprouts. It was good. I mean, it was
Everything
it was
we're
good.
gonna do. Look. We're a bunch of poor boys. We're not going to do this every weekend. But
Yeah,
if you get
it's something
a
to
chance
go
once,
anniversary.
twice a year.
It's an
I want-
experience
you know,
too.
Yeah, it is.
Same thing on a
It's
cruise
always a
ship.
good time to
If
go
you ever
there.
go on a cruise ship, and Jeff's not here to vouch for this,
No,
but
free
the
was
supper
food.
club.
Food was free on it.
Well, you do, but there's a place called on a cruise ship called the Supper Club on Carnival Cruises, and that's what it is. I would say Frankie Rollins. Say Frankie Rollins is 100%. The Supper Club is 90% Frankie Rollins, but you pay like a little bit. You wouldn't pay $100 for that same steak, but you would pay. I went there one time and I got a 26-ounce porterhouse, I think it was, and it cost me like $22, and that was for the whole
That's
thing.
like a 3-day meal.
Yep, it was. And tell you what, it hurt me too.
Yeah.
It hurt me. I was in pain when I got up from that.
Here's what I'm
steak.
gonna tell you, Jay. If you said
And
they
I
were
can
like
eat.
at 90%, if you want like 110%, go on a cruise with me and James and Alan.
All right. So
You're going to get
there's this new
110%.
Food truck at the brewery.
The third one ain't gonna happen no more. Poor buddy.
Either way, Amos, you missed out on a hell of a meal that night. We got
Yeah, we did.
John, I'm glad
I wish y'all would have came too. It'd have been nice because we had a room for 2 more people. It would have been nice that all 6 of
We
us.
could have did it. There's no way.
And I'm gonna tell you
on
what,
earth I
my
could afford
wife
it.
loves Tina. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
what.
man. All right, so we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
So, me and Billy's always like, man, we was hanging out. John was always the cool guy. John.
She likes Tara, too, don't get me wrong.
Everybody loves John. John.
But I
this,
think
John,
her and
that.
Tina had like a.
And then somehow John ended up marrying a woman that all our wives were like, oh man, it's and Billy's like, how did he marry somebody that our wives like better than we like him?
Yeah, that's true. That is
That's
true.
saying a lot.
That's true. I mean, honestly, yeah.
That's
My wife,
saying
she
a lot.
likes Tara. And she
I
likes,
love her.
loves
Great. Awesome.
Very, very well. I mean, your wife's very well traveled, like Tara, and has a lot of intellect, like Tina as well. Tara. I mean, they're all smart.
I can say this too. We
we're all kicking our covers.
have very strong. Talk about success. We all three have very strong. And I don't know y'all's marriage situation, so
I'll say mine's very.
Oh, James, you're out
Okay.
kicking your coverage too.
I know you
got a
I'm
mullet.
friends with your wife on Facebook, but I don't think
Here's
I haven't spent a lot of time. with her.
Brian is the only one here that's
my
not.
wife's a nurse practitioner.
Okay. Okay.
in the Caribbean in the ice.
I've met her
IC
down at
Toronto.
Isaiah's that time,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
haven't really talked to her.
Yeah.
So
James met her in the drive-through.
we
at
all have
McDonald's.
very
A lot
strong
of
women
us
that
have
pull
married sugar mamas.
Yeah.
just pull just
Something
my
else.
wife. Hey,
Mine-
straight up.
mine makes more than
Straight
me,
up.
I'll tell you that.
Well, my wife, sometimes we hit and miss. Sometimes she makes more than me. Sometimes I make more than her. But like I
Oh,
said
yeah.
again, we don't really pay attention. We
I
just
mean,
kind
up
of.
till here recently, I always made more than her.
Mhm.
So now it's changed. Like now she makes.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Now she graduated, and now she.
It's a good thing.
But
And you helped her get through. You have to get there too.
Yeah.
See,
And I support her the whole way.
when
Where
my
was you
wife,
going?
when my wife graduated from college,
Support is probably
Yep.
the biggest thing.
she got her 4-year degree. She got her bachelor's in 3 years. We only owed $6,500 on her student loans. That was because the whole time she's going to school, we both worked and pulled together to get her through school. Support. And, you know,
You didn't hold on to them hoping that they'd get wiped out here soon?
no, this has been 13 years ago. We had that paid off in a couple months after that. We didn't wait around.
Yeah, I mean,
This was 2009. This is 2011, 2012.
You're like, I got a bill. I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
pay
yeah,
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
The interest
you,
we
I
would've
was going to
paid-
say, if you just paid the minimum on them, maybe they would be
Oh,
forgiven
no,
at some
the
point.
money-
I'm gonna tell you, my wife told me this the
Amos,
other
if
day.
they
no.
Now the government put a hold on all student loans. Like they all the.
Yeah, they got a hold on them. They're
Right,
not.
yeah.
They're not accruing any interest right now, and they
Yeah,
have to
but
make
guess
payments
what?
on them. But
Yours
they're going to
is
be coming back
almost
around.
paid
Yeah, my
No,
wife
ours
said
was
that
paid off. Ours was paid off like no
nursing
time.
wise,
Yeah, like-
nobody's paid
Done.
anything.
Now you ain't got to wait on that bullshit.
All right, so here's
It's
what I
gone,
want to know.
You know,
If
And you're
if
still
they
doing
if the
good.
government forgives every student loan of everybody that's got a student loan that's outstanding,
then guess
where do
what?
me and him come in?
They're not going to
That
forgive
We
it.
dropped out of high
No,
school.
no, 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 no.
We made it.
No, no, no.
Well,
They're
we
not.
get a
They're not
check.
going to forgive
Pay
it. They're
for
not
it.
going to forgive it. Guess who's
No.
going to pay for it?
No,
Guess who's
hey,
going to pay for it?
If the government
But I don't get a
forgives-
check because I didn't
Nope.
go to college and not pay it off.
But guess who's going to pay for it though?
if
Guess
the
who's going to be
government
paying for those
forgives all
loans?
student
Us?
loans,
My biggest problem with student loans. People talk about they go to school, take out these loans, knowing knowing what's happening. There's another way that you can get free college. There's a way right now that you can get free college.
I went to college in jail.
Billy.
Like,
Billy, you can join
You can join the military.
the military.
now
and get free
being
college.
Said,
I went to college in jail. Like, it's all a fucking.
You can
it's
go
all
to the
bullshit.
military or jail and get free
But
college.
the problem,
There you go.
Like,
I
but you
have
don't
a
even
problem
need
with
college.
any of
but
that.
the problem,
You
I was
don't
going to say,
even
it
need
backs up
college.
further than that.
You don't
I mean,
need
why? You know, the everybody thinks, oh, you got to go to college. Yeah, it has to.
There you go.
Why not? Why should not a carpenter or a truck driver be on the same class?
Exactly. Be able to get
Why
a
not promote
exactly.
trades as
Promote
much as you
trades.
promote go to college and get a
Exactly.
basket weaving degree?
because
Think about it.
because if you go do the trades, you're not going to be indebted to them forever. Like
Yeah, the system is set up to keep you behind. To be honest with you,
debt slavery.
It's set up
is
to
just
keep you
the new
behind.
Slavery.
it's
It's
all
all
bullshit. Like,
So
it's set up to keep you behind the curve.
exactly. You're always a part of the system if you're always paying the system back.
Like I said, if you look at now, when you go now, HVAC guys, mechanics, they're making more money than anybody else because everybody as a kid has been indoctrinated and has been brainwashed to
Trade
think that you
schools
have to
works
go to
out.
college
I ain't making that
and nobody
much
thinks,
money.
oh, you're going to be a ditch digger the rest of your life. But ditch diggers are making $120,000 a year right now.
Because they dug a ditch at 18.
Hey,
and
I'm
now
a
at
plumber.
20.
I'm a plumber. And I'm happy with what I make.
Yeah.
Y'all know Stephen David.
I'm happy what I make as a truck driver.
Yeah. Some days are good. Some days are shit.
We were all on a
Living
bachelor
for me.
trip one weekend, and everybody was talking about what college they went to, this and this, and Stephen Davis said, my daddy bought me a lawnmower. And I looked around the room and I went, very successful landscaping company now. And I looked around the room and I thought about it. I'm looking at all these people and I'm like, there's only two of us in here that didn't go to college.
Why'd you point at me when you said people?
And, but he made a point.
Yeah.
My dad bought me a lawnmower. I didn't go to college.
Well, let me just say, I don't have a problem with people that go to college. I honestly, me and my wife, we have this conversation a lot. My biggest issue is sometimes people with, and matter of fact, the arrogant guy last night, his wife I think she might have been a lawyer. I can't. They were talking about some legal stuff. I don't know. But I just don't, I hate it that the college people look down on people that don't go to college. I get it that you went to college and you got some training, and yes, you should. You deserve more. If you come as a truck driver and you got a college degree, maybe you deserve a little bit more per hour because you put in effort and yada yada. You got your degree, but at the same time, I hate it that they look down and they try to smash people down that don't have the degree.
Well, most of
That's
it is
when
just
I
projection.
kind of have to.
Like,
Yeah.
most of it, that they are so insecure that they have their degree, and at the end of the day, they can walk out in public and know that that plumber, that carpenter, that electrician knows so much.
It's like they want to pull them down to make them look better.
But and that's what it is. It's projection.
And I get it, and be proud of it. There was a guy. I'll tell you a story. There was a guy. We went to another driver. We went to Detroit, Michigan, to help out up there. They were behind big time, and we were in. It was like, I want to say it was maybe 10 of us. We'd gotten off. We were at the hotel having happy hour. We were all having a good time, and he's got his degree with his ring on. He's talking all big, and he's putting his ring up in everybody's face, up in everybody's eyeball. And we had a couple of the dispatchers from the terminal, and they, this is probably unorthodox for them to come out after hours to come hang out with us. They just want to show their appreciation for us coming. The RDO, talking some bigwigs came out, was buying us drinks. And it got to the point where he was just so projective about his degree that even the RDO, the highest paid guy sitting in the room, had to step up and say, well, I don't have a college degree. You talking about somebody got pissed off. That guy got so mad to find out that he had a degree. He was still a truck driver when this guy up here didn't have a degree and was making more money. He was. Yeah, above him. Oh, dude, man. I mean, to this point, to this day, this guy, he doesn't talk to me on Facebook, because I actually got up to the point where I was like, dude, it's like, we get you. We're happy for you, but you're sitting at a table with 10 people who are like, we're all truck drivers. This is okay, we're here. We're all in the same life, same thing. We were making the same, and he wasn't even top pay. So I was making more money than he was making because he wasn't at top pay. But even if he was, we all do the same job. So why do you feel?
It's not entitled.
Exactly. It's not entitled. At this particular setting, it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, why?
Your degree doesn't entitle you to nothing.
And especially in this setting.
If it's necessary in your job, hey.
And especially at this setting we're in. We're 10 truck drivers in the same room. Why are you acting like it? It got to the point the RDO stepped up and had to step in and kind of cool this guy down a little bit. But I was like, and he doesn't talk to me now because entitled. I was like, I mean, he's told customers. We went to customers when they closed our Lynchburg terminal down, and they said that this guy was here saying that I'm too smart for this job. And I'm thinking, dude, you're talking to a forklift driver who is actually technically on the same level as we are. They're working a job, and they're here, and they work every day, and providing for their family. Why would you insulted this person who's unloading your truck? Mm-hmm. You insulting the other driver that's waiting behind you, and like, why would you do that?
What grade did you complete, Joe?
You know what I mean?
I actually did get 12.
Did you go through all the way?
See?
I did too. I had to go to summer school to get mine.
And you own a business that
was decided.
You have college-educated people that work for you, and you never went a day in college.
I think that's safe to say.
Oh, you finished high school, so
yeah.
I tell you what, if you could take me back when I was 18,
voluntary education,
and clone 18-year-old me, and give my clone $100,000 to go to college. But I get to keep the knowledge that I have now. Don't give me nothing. At 18, I'm gonna beat college me. I'm gonna embarrass him. Let me retain my knowledge that I have now at 18, but clone me and give him $100,000. So whatever, if he spends more than $100,000, okay, he's got to pay that back. But you can go to school, $100,000 minus your, whatever, your scholarships, whatever else you get. I'm gonna embarrass him.
Well, and that's like, you watch the news every day, and it's all about, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And, I'll sit there and I'll watch it, and I'll think about you. I'd go past your dad's over there, and there was a track trailer sitting on the side of Hopkins. I think about Joel. Mm-hmm. And anybody can do it. Anybody can do it.
Well, here's the deal. I failed at truck driving. I failed at owning a truck. No, I didn't say I failed. I learned, but my trucking company was losing money.
You didn't fail as a truck driver.
I learned.
It was just a rough starting business.
It was rough starting. It was a rough starting business. There you go. I could probably bring it back now with what I know now and do a better job of it.
But you was more trusting.
Yep. And you're right. I didn't fail, but it was losing money.
And just like we was laughing about it earlier. I mean, Joe started out in a cab over, I said a Peterbilt International.
13 letter shits, bro.
How many trucks you got now?
19.
Mm-hmm.
Where you based
my problem was I had one. That was my problem. You got to have at least 3.
You that's what I'm saying. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
If you go from driving a 4-wheeler down the road with a trailer and a lawnmower,
that's what I do.
Anybody can do it.
Tires and everything.
You're out of Coles Creek.
We do most of our own.
We're
It
off
can be
of
done.
farms.
Like I say, you gotta 5 o'clock. That's when I make most of my money is after I punch out at 5 o'clock.
The fucking bars.
Most people want to go home and sit on the
Yeah.
couch. That's it. They're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially.
Hey, I was talking to somebody the other day and talking about.
They ain't bad.
I don't know that I've
That's
ever had a
like
paid
19.5s.
vacation day in my life.
I
to
don't
speak
try to
of.
put them on the machine.
I have. They're awesome.
Yep, they are.
You break it down in the machine,
Never.
and you-
Hey, and especially if you go to work on your day off on that day and you double up,
Oh yeah. You work at GE.
double time and a half or something.
Oh, you get They're so I bet some of those welders over there on overtime they're making like $80, $90 an
Yeah,
hour.
that's the
There's been
time
times
you
I
get
went to
Christmas-
work knowing I was losing
My dad used to.
30,000 on
My
that
dad used
job.
to go to work on Christmas Day because they used to pay you double time and a half, and then he go down like, I'm gonna work a double on Christmas Day. You know.
mechanic, it's like a lot.
Yeah.
That's significant.
Well,
When I got hired on over there,
Shop
like
doesn't have to
I thought
be
this was gonna be like
Yeah.
I'm in, I'm done.
I've
Like
been learning.
all I gotta do is sit back and enjoy the ride. Just come in, do my hours.
and then they shut the doors.
Well, they shut the doors, but it was more of a disappointment when after you got in there and like you realize like this is what all the hype was about. Like this GE, like this ain't nothing. I mean,
All right, someone's down. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
someone's
I-
down. I'm gone.
yeah,
Fine,
like
appreciate
I said,
it. We're probably shutting this down here shortly too. I just wanted to make a comment. We've had a really good conversation here, just about being an entrepreneur and finding your way to success. That's kind of why I started this show in the first place, and everybody sitting in the room here is kind of a big old part of that one way, shape,
We
or
all
form.
It's the
should
same
be
thing with the
where you
show.
are,
It's the
what
same
you
thing with
said
this show.
And
It's the same thing with the show. You're going to
just
do the
like
same
what
thing.
you said
You know?
earlier. How are we all here together right now?
You know what the biggest part about entrepreneur that is real is? The manure part.
Yeah.
Shit.
Entrepreneur.
You have that by the truckload.
Dang.
Damn right.
I'm just glad my GPS.
But it's good enough to.
But here,
Waggle
I
through it.
like to say another thing too. It's recognizing the opportunity. When I first got into, you say you flip cars, right? When I first got into scrapping cars, I was all about scrap. Yeah. Well, see, what happened was I was all about scrap. So I actually
There's
the
a lot of money
Subaru.
into it.
Yeah.
You know what a Cadillac converter goes for?
About it depends on
These
what
are wrong color to
about
scrap.
$200 bucks.
Brian.
Oh, 900. Okay, they up now.
Out of a Toyota
Yep.
Prius.
But I bought a Subaru. I bought a Subaru Outback from a guy over in Boone's Mill. I paid him $60 for it, and I was gonna scrap the car because I was in the mindset of scrap. I looked at the car. I said, "This car looks way too good for me to scrap it. Way too good." And I even had the Sawzall out. And if I found the car, there's a Sawzall nick on the front quarter panel where I was going to cut the roof off to take it to the scrap yard. And I said, "Let me just see what's wrong with this car." Diagnosed it. The fuel pump was bad in it. Went to Holly's, $60 fuel pump. 20 minutes to change that fuel pump. Car fired up. I drove that car for 7 years. I rode that car for $120. I had $120 in that car I was riding. That's what changed my perspective on from
What'd you
scrap.
People throw
Sold it for
things
$700
away.
after I drove it for 7 years, but it had a head gasket issue when I sold it. I think it did. I didn't know it had it. I didn't know it had. I was helping a buddy out, and he drove it for about a year and a half before the head gasket actually went on it. So it didn't have it. Maybe it had it. Some issues.
And that's the whole.
Yeah, but I
entrepreneur
was straight up with
process.
him, and I told the guy he knew all the problems that car had. It had little smaller issues that had developed over the years, stuff I didn't fix, probably should have fixed. But a $60 car, I'm not going to spend, big money to fix. Like number one, you couldn't pump gas in it real fast. You had to pump gas real
You
slow.
would spend more
We
than
got a big-
$60
we got a big truck
in
like
gas.
that.
to
Yeah.
haul
So
to
yeah.
the
So that was the
shred,
biggest problem it had.
and then time involved.
But
It had
it's
power.
not for everybody. This fix up and resell. business.
Exactly.
But it's a mindset.
It's a mindset. And I've
That's
lost
like
money.
you-
I've lost money on cars. I spent $13,000 on
Amos
a
and
car
the campers.
that I sold for $4,500.
Was that bad?
Time I bought the car, fixed it to the best of my ability. I sent it to a shop, fixed it to the best of my ability. I sold the car for maybe it was $6,500. Yeah, I sold it for $6,500. I lost money in that car, but I took that money that I made and I put it on a principal payment on my house and made the difference up. I made it up another way.
Y'all
I
don't
lost
even wanna
it,
know what I got
but
in
I
my
figured out a
little
way
Honda.
to turn it into where I broke even.
Well, at the
But-
end of the
Pay this,
day,
you save this.
anybody that's
So-
successful hasn't failed.
Hasn't- yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have
make
to.
them
I didn't know, but it was in the direction of trying to be successful that
You have to fail.
Yeah,
You
till
have to
I didn't
feel
realize I
failure.
was too far in that car to not finish fixing it and get it to where I could sell it.
You damn sure can't be.
I
on
couldn't
a
sell it like it
fucking
was because I
high
wasn't gonna get
horse.
nothing. I was gonna lose more just trying to sell it like it was. I had to fix it all the way to lose what I to minimize my loss.
Yeah.
And that's the
Minimize
difference in
your
that
loss.
mindset versus just dump it.
Just dump it.
dump it.
Uh-huh.
All right, but you do the.
You don't want.
You say, all right, if I do this, I can. The bottom line is going to be my favorite.
But when I bought the car, I had intentions of fixing it to make money. I mean, it was within the effort. It was an effort of trying to be successful. It wasn't, I'm going to spend money and lose it. But like I say, some you win, some you lose.
Well, you have to take risks too.
Take risks. There you go. Yep.
But
take
it's
risks.
smart risks.
Smart risk.
You have
That
to
was a
evaluate
semi-educated
what
risk.
you're
Don't
getting
do it with your
yourself
wife's
into.
money. Those risks get real risky.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But that's where, smart.
How you know he's
So
right?
I did this one time.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a house account. We've been saving for a house. Had maybe $14,000 in this house account, which is a lot of money, but not a lot considering how long we had saved. I was hauling cattle at the time. Beef prices were through the roof. Okay, I'm catching on. This sells by the pound. So I found a guy here in Charlottesville who had, I didn't think, the education to market his livestock. He had multiple head of livestock in a field. You buy them, I want X amount per head. I said, no, I won't give you per head price, but I will buy them by the pound. Beef's going at $2.50 or something on the hoof. What he was asking was like $1.65. I says, this is opportunity, and I like opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
No,
You
a
saw
guy
it.
with a stock trailer. So I hooked the dually up, grabbed a stock trailer, showed up,
Was
loaded
it
them. I
that
said,
guy?
I'm going straight to the scale, and whatever they weigh, then I'll pay you. So I paid him. It turned out to like $12,800, which, by the way, depleted the house
your wife's
account.
money.
Yes. Now she knew I was going to do this, and I said, "You know what the beef prices are.
Yeah, but you already told her
We'll make money."
with it.
So I picked them up in Charlottesville. I go straight to Lynchburg, backed up the chute, run them off, said, "Sell these fuckers." And now we're going to make a tidy little profit on these cows. What I did not know is that Holsteins are not worth the same per pound as our Angus.
Oh, okay.
A week later, I get the check from the sale barn for like $8,200.
Oh wow. Oh man.
Which I promptly put back into the house account. However, the difference that existed
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah.
was not only noticeable, it was noticed.
Uh-huh.
And so
You lost.
I was $4,500 or something that I lost in
Yeah.
like 8 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I got the privilege of cleaning out the borrowed stock
And you use the
trailer.
gas to go get them and put.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And
So-
wear and tear. Yep. Uh-huh.
I quickly gave up on being a livestock broker. Said, I got to find something different. This ain't going to work.
Right.
And I was
Hey,
admonished.
and it'll make you
You
sick
live
on your
and you
stomach
learn.
too. At $4,500 at that time in your life probably you probably didn't eat.
Well, I
for-
was
for a day
probably
and a half.
more disappointed
Disappoint-
than she
Mhm.
was in that
You probably
She
felt
she
like a
wasn't really that
dumbass.
worked up about it. But
Mhm.
I felt like, this
Yeah.
this makes me sick because
Yeah.
we've been working for a specific
Long-
thing.
yeah,
And I thought there was an opportunity to
Yeah.
boost that.
You went,
And
you
now
went out of
they're
your way to
screwed
do
up.
it.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's
and so
where the smartness comes in.
Yeah. Or the
Back to-
education.
Don't do that
The
slide.
education.
learn from
That's not something you can
mistakes,
learn in
that's for
school.
sure.
That's not something you can learn in school.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
so. Anyway,
I can
learning
remember
from
when
that particular
$3,000
mistake.
would make you sick enough to
Oh
where you
yeah.
couldn't eat.
Now $3,000.
Now $3,000 is like
Yeah, I mean, in a business, I mean, $3,000. I mean,
now,
it is,
yeah.
but it's
it
not.
is, but it ain't. But
Now $3,000 is interest on a Blackwater building
yeah, yeah.
bill.
So it's like
I said, yeah, you cock up on one hip at the same time.
yeah. I can remember $3,000 make you sick. You couldn't eat for 2 days. Yep, you lose that kind of
Your
money.
fuel bills went up more than that per day here lately, Joe.
Like I say, success. Is your perspective. Where you want to be at.
That's right.
And making, and sometimes you got to do some stuff you don't want to do. I think that's the biggest key. People, sometimes you got to do stuff you don't want to do.
That's what makes you
Yeah.
That's what makes you go.
Yeah.
That's what makes you.
Like,
get
do I
there.
want to drive Uber? I mean, yes, I do, because right now, like I miss the social aspect of my job. I like to talk to people, meet people. When I'm out, and the ability to tell you, we don't ever go to the same, hardly ever go to the same place twice. We're always in a different place delivering. It's never the same. Even if I go to the same place, 2 different days, it's something different. And I do miss that as far as, not working. So the Uber gives me meeting people and so, the money's nice, but.
That's why I like driving a
Yeah.
truck. Too.
Yeah.
I get to go out there and
And you're
I'm
kind of your own
different parts
boss.
of
Nobody's
Virginia.
over your shoulder.
I'm introduce myself to new breweries, new restaurants, new
Exactly.
places I can.
Plus, we'd never see if we went on the truck.
Places I would never see.
Never
if I
see
wasn't
one on truck.
driving. I can talk about. I can come in here and have conversations about, and you know,
Some of the little
it is
mom and
about
pops
Franklin
places
County,
you
but it's
find.
about all of Appalachia. I want people to enjoy and appreciate. There is so much good and so much beauty.
This ain't about Frank County. It's about America.
Yeah, I got some stuff I want to go to on the RV now that I used to drive to, like down at Meadows of Dan. I got some places we could told the wife we're gonna go down there and go down and camp out one weekend. See, I never know about Meadows of Dan had not been for the truck.
You never know what you're going to see in a
Never know,
truck.
and like I say, especially
I met
looking.
this
No,
guy
we're gonna have a podcast down at the cabin on the river.
That's coming very soon.
So
Yeah,
New-
'cause I
very
mean,
soon.
New Year's
that needs
Eve.
to happen. Like
Yeah,
a good float and a good floating stories. Some after
It
that.
is.
'Cause
Well, what I want to do is we've already talked about our crazy stories from like the 2000s and late 90s. What I want to do is get my dad and uncle and their generation to come in and talk their crazy stories from the 70s and 80s because they are a whole lot. Oh, they're on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Whole different level. I want to get them down there and talk. We're going to do that. That's coming.
Okay.
What would you?
I met this guy at a New Year's Eve party, and he said, "My name's Billy, and I like to bring positivity to the world." Okay,
Was that at a bonfire?
it was at a bonfire. There was, I think, some shooting involved, a lot of drinking, maybe a cannon, and so weeks and weeks, months even later, I happened to be 40 miles away from home, which is not far as a truck driver. And I pass this truck, and I see a big-ass afro hanging out in the cab, and something kind of clicked, and I was like, I bet that guy told me he worked. And sure as shit, we just happened to that particular day passed each other at a stoplight, and wasn't 20 minutes, I get a message on Facebook, or I seen it, and said, "Hey, was you just leaving Salem?" Yeah, I was. But anyway, it's a small world, and what I like there is that the people you don't know who are watching you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Every day, somebody's watching you, or somebody notices you, and
It was that truck.
well, and that's he probably couldn't see me in the truck, but
He probably knew the truck though.
I saw that dang truck.
the
I'm obviously going to
success
have to go
there
back through
is-
here and edit out my employer's name because if they ever find out where
Yeah.
I work at, I'm teetotally.
Yeah, you can get that out there.
That's funny though that absolutely.
While he was hiding behind the car, he was like, "Man," he's like, "Y'all shot at that bag and it didn't go off." And he's like, "Then y'all start walking. I'm over, dude. What are they doing?"
They shot the bag.
Tannerite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
well,
I've done the tannery.
James, not to name names, shot the bag at the bag, missed the bag
I tried to get somebody
more
else to
than-
shot that night.
more than once. Shit,
Loaded
I'm
the gun
out.
with the wrong shells.
Now,
I
click.
told him I was drunk.
I'm
I
out
didn't
of
want to
shells.
shoot.
So he goes to the truck. He gets his shells. He comes back. He's fumbling around. He gets all set back up. Click again. You know, now understanding you're shooting at Tannerite, which seems to be ready to make a big boom. So I'm hiding behind the truck listening, and I just hear click. Well, that was a little bit of a letdown. Well, after a bit, the flashlights come out, and they all go to looking. Well, you dumbass, you put 308s in a 300 or vice versa. So,
Oh man, I felt like an idiot that night. I felt like an idiot.
So Amos
I
gets
grabbed
on the
bullets.
four-wheeler. They go for a 30-30 from the house, brings it back.
Somebody gets one. Who shot?
All right, we're going to put somebody else on this thing that ain't drunk enough and can't shoot. So
I told
meantime,
them
Cannon-
when I started. I tried to
I'm
get.
shooting the cannon off.
I don't remember the guy that was shooting, but anyway, he shot it and hit it. But what they had done was took a box, like a bag of Tannerite in a box, mounted a mailbox reflector to the box
Yep.
so you could see it up here in the field. Shot at the box, hit the reflector, but not the box. Just the reflector. The fucking reflector went, landed over in the weeds. Now they start asking, well, somebody go up there and check on that box.
Check the second one.
Go see where that box is. It ain't me. I ain't going. So two of them now. Let's not kill one person here. Let's take two so we have company while we die. So
You want to die alone?
track down the reflector, find the box, put it back together, shoot at it several more times, but I don't remember it even getting.
I don't think the second one ever went off.
We were sure it was
left?
No, I said y'all gonna get killed up here. Time for me to go home anyway. But
It got hit multiple times, but it never went off. When they mixed it up, I don't think they mixed the aluminum with the.
Something was a little bit
Yeah.
goofy with it, but I wasn't getting nowhere close to it.
It didn't get mixed right.
I did enjoy
That's
the
what he meant, Billy.
the meeting of you and the want to bring something positive to Franklin County and really all of Virginia and America is that stands that I think that is well worth doing. So thank you for doing it.
Well, we can all find ways to come together, and
Unless you're looking for a way to split
We all
apart.
have to support each other. Like, Amos come over to my house and help me do a few repairs, and I'll throw his name out there. And not that he doesn't need the work, but the more times I say his name, the higher that price goes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can tell.
yeah.
I'm just joking.
Well, and with Paul, like everybody around here, we kind of need our guy that we need to root for, and Paul's that guy right now. He's somebody going out there and getting on TV and racing on the Smart Tour and down at Bowman Gray. I don't mind rounding up people and throwing him a few $100s here and there to go up here and represent us in a positive way because it gives us more stories to talk about.
Well, support each other.
And it is. It's supporting each other,
And-
choosing each other to do our plumbing work, to do our yard
Well, it's
work.
easy
Brad
too.
Kennett.
Yep. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
you're good. I'm done.
No.
But I mean, it is. I mean, you
Well,
support
like
each other.
I'm gonna say another one here. We got another guy that we went to school with. I'm gonna put his maybe give him a plug too here. Brian Metter. Y'all know Brian Metter. Brian Metter just stepped out on his own. He's got his own spraying
Asphalt
business,
sealing.
asphalt sealing business. When I saw that CJ posted on there, I reached out to Brian and I need to get my driveway sealed. I reached out immediately. I've got him about 11 or 12 driveways in my neighborhood. He's gonna come seal them. Now, to be honest, I don't even know Brian can even seal driveways. To be honest with you. I'll be honest, straight up honest with you. I don't.
You said that. I might call him myself. I need mine.
I don't even know how good he might come in and screw it up. I don't even know.
Made the machine.
But here's the deal. And I didn't even check around on pricing.
You might have sold one just tonight. Like I need mine.
Yeah,
done, so
and Brian could have came and said, "Hey, it's gonna be whatever." Mine is triple what my neighbors are because I have a side driveway and a big back lot that's bigger than everybody else's main driveway.
Yeah.
So mine is gonna be more. I know it's gonna be more, but Brian is new in business and
Trying to get going.
trying to get going. Even if it costs me extra $100, $200, whatever dollars, $300, I want to support Brian. And I like I said, I don't know if he can even seal it. He may come and screw it. It may look like SHIT. I have no idea, but I still want to support. I'm gonna give him a chance. If he messes it up, I'll get somebody to come and fix it. But I want to give him a chance. I'm just saying. I mean, honestly, I've never seen it.
There's other people that can
I would. Most people wouldn't do that. Most people would be like, "No, I need you."
You trust him.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
trust
He
that-
didn't just go
that
out on
he's
his
gonna
own.
yeah, exactly.
He didn't just go out on his
He's done his
own,
homework.
not knowing nothing about it. He
done his
obviously has done his homework. He obviously knows what he's doing. You ain't just going and starting up something from a stable job. He's got a family, wife, kids to support.
Yep.
He's not gonna come out here and do
something he
this.
has no idea
and
about.
know what he's doing. Just try to figure it out.
The beauty of a good network, a good community, is that if I don't know who a good drywaller is, I call Amos.
Call Amos. He gonna know somebody.
Hey,
exactly.
Who do you know that's good at
Yeah.
this?
So-
But see, I stuck my neck out to my neighbors.
They need the business.
I stuck my neck out to the neighbors and reached out to everybody in the neighborhood, and he got a lot of driveways out of it.
Yeah.
And and hopefully it's gonna come out. I'm sure it's gonna come out okay.
Oh, it will.
If not, he's gonna make it right.
It definitely will.
But at the same time, that's gonna multiply him because there's a ton of driveways in my neighborhood. There's a ton.
Well, and I think the
Yeah.
care level that goes to that when he does show up to do 12 driveways, that
Exactly.
you reeled in for him.
Exactly. And there's two. That's why I bought my little tractor. There's 200, 300 driveways over there.
But it's also that also backs up to the business mind of it.
Uh-huh.
You know what it's like to try to start.
Exactly.
You know what it's like to try
Exactly.
to start.
Get you-
I know
try to
what
get
it's
some- try to get
you
some
know,
legs
so
underneath
we
it.
understand. And hey, if you got the courage to go for it,
Exactly.
I got to support you.
I gotta support you.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, stepping out of the comfort zone.
Exactly. Even if I could have got it done $150, $200 cheaper for somebody else, I still want him to do it. I still want him to do it, and that's the God's honest truth. I still want him to
I
come and
was
do it.
making way more money
Yeah, just
working
because.
for somebody.
Mhm.
But I mean, you got man,
You
you
like
jump
doing
and
it
hope the
yourself.
pool's full.
Exactly. Head first, dive in.
Yeah, you got to hope the pool's
Yeah,
full.
so
if it's half empty, it's gonna hurt. If it's real empty, it's really gonna hurt.
So
A lot.
All right. We've been going way too long now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut this podcast down because it could go on for hours. and
Yeah,
we're gonna
we could
probably
keep
end
on
up having
talking
to do
every
it
day.
again. There's so many good stories here. And at the end of the day, though, after our 1 year kind of gig, a lot of people I want to thank, Chris Williams and JB Cole, the Smart Modified Tour, for all they've done for us, hooking us up
Dr. Jerry Punch.
Yeah. John got to start a video. We got to hang out with Jeff Hammond. We're talking about Chris Williams hooking us up with Jimmy Hensley, Gerald Compton. We've had Satchwelly on here. Great shows. Go back and listen to them. The WoodShop episodes are great. The Crawford and Power one. We've had a lot of fun with this. And it's a big community effort. When we started this show, we wanted to be a community thing, and it has turned into that. The first show we recorded was just me, John, and Jeff up in my office. And now we've got Simon opening up his doors. We've got you, Amos, opening up your doors. Places we can go record shows, Buddy's Barbecue, all these different places we set up. Turn 2 of Frank County Speedway, Turn 3 Motor Mile. We set up in there and we bring awareness to the community. We have fun. Everybody in this room knows what it's like to have fun. And hopefully everybody listening, just go out there and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Trust
Get
in
some
your
motivation.
community
Yep.
and use people that you trust to take care of each other. Call them up. It can be us. It can be somebody that's not us. But if they're in your neighborhood, y'all get together. I mean, everything we're promoting here is all about community. Build your community, make it better. A rising tide raises all ships.
Be who you want to be, not who you think people want you to be.
Absolutely. Everybody in this room has proved to themselves that they can be something.
I've changed in the last 9 months since I've left my job. First off, you see, I'm wearing a hat. Never wore a hat for 40 years. Just little things. You find yourself. And like you say, I won't say I was being somebody I was trying to be, but at the same time, I found things
having
that
a kid will change you a lot.
yeah, well, that too. And then, we talked about, what y'all were doing over here. I don't
Billy
want
has
to,
bags
but I ain't gonna
under
say it
his
out
eyes
loud.
right now to prove it.
It's
Billy didn't read
hey,
the signs
I ain't gonna know
like
unless
that
I
too.
try, right? So I gotta, you gotta do new stuff. Don't be afraid to step out there and try something. And
Hey, I want to give a quick
How'd you
plug
go,
out to the my Extreme Four softball team. We got a golf tournament coming up in 2 weeks on the 14th. Still looking for players. If anybody hears this between here and there, and they want to come out and support a golf,
if I could play golf, I'd come.
yeah,
I can't play golf.
that's why I want.
We'll get it out there.
There's a
Yeah,
softball bat available for the golf balls.
I got a hockey.
If you want to play your round of golf with a softball bat,
That is
that
my
could be
idea.
We'll
arranged.
allow
golf.
that. We'll
How
allow
much you
that.
pay us? Oh, how much do I got to pay to do it?
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. We'll have to figure that out.
He ain't got the price.
I can't even
yet.
play softball.
Yeah, well, to a greater extent, though. Look, seriously, support your local kids. Throw a few dollars here. and
There you go,
It don't have to
exactly.
be a lot.
I do that in my
It don't have to be a
neighborhood.
lot. Throw a few here and there to local kids.
If they're selling candy
Throw-
bars
throw
or
a few-
lemonade,
buy
I
something.
stop and
Yeah,
I'll
How many times I buy
I
popcorn
don't even
from
care.
the FFA? I don't eat popcorn.
I don't eat them candy bars. I take them to the house, set them on the
you
counter.
got to.
You got to.
You got to.
Especially if they out selling lemonade.
I
You
definitely say
got
if
lemons.
If you're a
Got
kid
to.
and you have enough guts
A
to go
table.
to the Tractor Supply and set up a table,
A
and sell
table,
popcorn,
set up a table, boom.
man, I gotta buy it.
Except for Girl Scout cookies, because I can tell you now, I will bring my truck and trailer, my gooseneck, and I will buy every box of Girl Scout cookies. So I have to lay off Girl Scout cookies
What
because,
is it, the caramel coconut.
and that's the only thing. But I want to. I'll still give them a donation, but I
What is
can.
this called?
I'm telling
They're
you,
the
I
best.
will.
All right,
Yeah.
we're ending this.
Yep.
Joel,
Support the kids.
long trucking. Hit them up if you need anything
long
delivered.
transport.
Long transport.
It's just like a glorified version of trucking.
You can't miss their trucks. They're beautiful.
Blue and green.
Blue and bright green.
Blue
If
and
you
green.
see
Tina's
blue
like,
and
I've never
green,
seen a green and blue truck on the road till after I knew what Joel's truck looked. She's like, I see him every day now.
Blackwater Building, custom woodworking, Amos. If you need something done, I can't promise it's going to get to you right away, but it'll be done right. It'll be done beautifully, and you'll get every dollar that you invested into it. John, anything anybody needs out of you, of course.
I kind of got a little jack of all trades. I'm good at tossing around ideas too. You need if you got a business idea and you want to do something, you need to talk to a business minded person. I'll say that.
John's a good ear.
Yeah, and I might not know nothing about what you're trying to start, but I have a business mind, and we can brainstorm together because you need somebody with the business brain in mind,
A
to talk to you.
voice. An unbiased voice.
and a voice of reason sometimes too. Sometimes people want to shoot for the moon, and hold on, we shoot for the moon in a month from now. You need to kind of get your
Now,
foundation built.
20
Then go.
years ago, if you would have told me that me and John would have had an hour and a half conversation about kids on the phone, I would have told you he was crazy. But it has happened.
Yep.
Well, for everybody out there that supported us in the past year, we appreciate all of it. We'll come at you with some more here in the future. Amos, Joel, James, John, Bodine, Dean showing up here tonight, Ryan, Paul Hall.
John, and Joel.
Thank you, everybody.
James for days.
Hey, we got more to come, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Bye.